first quarter sales. The nation's largest retailer says it will raise prices later this month due to higher tariffs. The U.S. and China have agreed to pause reciprocal tariffs for the next 90 days, but import taxes remain at high levels. President Trump is hopeful that Iran will reach an agreement with the U.S. to dismantle its nuclear weapons program.
It's a perilous situation, and we want to do the right thing. We want to do something that's going to save maybe millions of lives, because things like that get started and they get out of control. I've seen it over and over again.
There were 30,000 fewer U.S. drug overdose deaths in 2024 than the year before, the largest one-year decline ever recorded.
Experts say more research needs to be done to understand what drove the reduction, but they believe there were several possible factors. That could include the increased availability of the overdose-reversing drug naloxone, more addiction treatment, and the growing impact of billions of dollars in opioid lawsuit settlement money.
That's correspondent Haya Penjwani. Russian President Putin was a no-show in Turkey today. That's where Ukrainian President Zelensky arrived for peace negotiations after issuing a challenge to the Russian leader to meet with him in person. More than 1,000 Starbucks baristas at 75 U.S. stores have been striking this week, protesting the coffee giant's new dress code. Starbucks announced it was setting new limits on what baristas can wear under their green aprons. Starting Monday, employees were required to wear a solid black shirt and khaki black or blue denim bottoms. Starbucks says the dress code will make the green aprons stand out. More at townhall.com.
If you're living with pain, see how Relief Factor can help.
I'm an artist, and I'm in my studio. I listen to the radio all day, and I'm hearing the ads about Relief Factor. And I've got pain in my neck, and it's getting worse. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go ahead and order this. 2 weeks later, I've got much better range of motion. If you're experiencing pain at a certain point in life, I would get Relief Factor.
Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. Go to ReliefFactor.com and get your 3-week quick start today. Only $19.95.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling Grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. Offer valid through 5/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-source single line activation on qualifying plan. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
South Africa's president is coming to the White House next week after the U.S. took in white South Africans as refugees.
South Africa says its president, Cyril Ramaphosa, will meet with President Trump at the White House next week. The meeting follows the Trump administration's admission of 59 white South Africans into the U.S. on Monday as refugees. Trump has claimed Afrikaners are being persecuted in the black majority country. He issued an executive order in February cutting all U.S. funding to South Africa. Ramaphosa says the Trump administration's criticisms are based on misinformation about South Africa's laws, and whites are not being singled out. Ben Thomas, Washington.
A Georgetown University scholar from India has been released from immigration detention after he was arrested in the Trump administration's crackdown on foreign college students. A federal judge issued the ruling releasing the man who was being held in Texas. News and analysis at townhall.com. Health officials are announcing an effort to phase out ingestible fluoride supplements.
Fluoride tablets and lozenges are sometimes recommended for children and teens at increased risk of tooth decay or cavities because of low fluoride in their local drinking water. Companies also sell drops for babies. FDA Commissioner Marty McCary says the products pose a risk when swallowed because they may interfere with healthy gut bacteria. He also referenced studies showing possible associations between excess fluoride intake and other problems, including decreased IQ. John Scott reporting.
Ford is recalling nearly 274,000 of its Expedition and Lincoln-branded Navigator SUVs due to an issue that may cause a loss of brake function while driving, increasing crash risks. The recall covers vehicles years 2022 through 2024. More at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, one step closer.
What a day it is.
Mm-hmm.
Busy.
Boy, is it ever.
Playoff sports action for you beginning today. We are going to have baseball and softball playoff action. I'm not going to lie, pretty much all day today.
Mm-hmm.
Once the morning show's over at 10 o'clock today, we'll have Clay and Buck for about an hour. Then at 11 o'clock, we will bring you Goddard softball playoff action.
Yep.
They're the 5 seed in the consolation round of the playoffs here. They're going to take on the 13th seed St. Pius. Kelly McDonald's going to call that game for you. If Goddard wins, they will play again at 9 a.m. tomorrow. If they lose, they are done in the tournament. At 12:30 today, the Goddard Rocket baseball team, they're a 12 seed. They're going to take on the 13th seed Chaparral. That game is scheduled to start at 12:30. We will be carrying the softball game at 11. So right at the conclusion of the softball game, we're going to flip over to the Goddard baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
Henry will be calling that game for us, but we might miss the first inning or so just depending on how long the softball game goes. As soon as the conclusion of softball, we'll do our things to flip over things to get you from Kelly to Henry, and then we'll have Henry call out the rest of that game. Then again at 4 o'clock today, we're going to have Gateway Christian, their playoff run here. So we're going to carry their baseball game at 4 o'clock today. Henry, he's going to literally, hopefully the Goddard game doesn't go real long, because at 4 o'clock he's going to head on over to that game. But the Goddard game's at 12:30. If that goes long, it's going to be really quick. It's going to be short for getting him from one field to the other.
The first part of of that game might involve Henry eating a sandwich.
Right. And then at 7 o'clock tonight, we will have NMMI baseball. They're the 1 seed taking on Sandia Prep in the quarterfinals. We'll have that game for you. Henry is going to book it over at 7 from that field to that field to bring you an MMI action.
I admire the commitment, but man, what a day.
So,
hopefully he's got access to a golf cart or something, because I know their fields are close, but...
Right. Well, see, field 2 is, I'm not sure. I don't have the Gateway Christian, what field that's on. It's not on my sheet here. That was a late ad. But I know, let's see. Apparently, hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know that people that have been there say you can do it. I don't know. I've never done it myself, so I don't know. But we're going to carry all that for you. Now, that's what today's going to set up. And then tomorrow it could be, and then Saturday we have a few games too as well, depending on what happens today and tomorrow. But like I said, if Goddard softball wins at 11 today, they're going to play again at 9 against either the 2 seed Artesia or the 3 seed Lovington, whoever loses that matchup today. Then they'll play that game at 9. If they win that game, then Goddard softball will play at 11 right after that against, I'm not even going to tell you, because it could be this, it could be that, it could be. Right. Then they'll play again at 11. If they win that game, then they will be back in action at 1 o'clock. If Goddard baseball wins today at 12:30, they will play again also at 12:30 tomorrow against either the 1 seed Artesia or the 9 seed Hope Christian, depending on how that matchup goes. We'll have that game for you at 12:30 as well. 1 o'clock will be the softball game. the third game of the day for them. We will not carry that one because we will be carrying baseball at that time. Unless baseball's out and then softball's still in, then we will. But if baseball's still in and softball's still in, at 12:30 we'll carry the Goddard baseball. Then at 3:30 on Friday, NMMI will play their second game if they win tonight. They're going to play that'll be 3:30, and they play either St. Mike's, the 4 seed, or West Las Vegas, the 5 seed. So, and that's Friday. Yeah, then Friday, and then I'll get to Saturday, Friday,
and then
that's depending on championship.
And then Sunday we'll be covering Senior League Pickleball from the Roswell Adult Center, an equally important tournament.
But so we're gonna have plenty of baseball and softball action for you here today. So if you do tend to want to, because some people say, "Well, I'm here to listen to Clay and Buck. I'm here to listen to Hannity." You can find those online very
on their
easily.
websites. Yep.
Now on our apps, it's going to be baseball and softball, but they will be pretty. We apologize for that, but it's playoff time, and the only way we get the base playoffs to is via the radio. So
I will say this: I'll be real impressed if somebody goes to Travis and Sexton's website to listen to the show and then still calls our show, our station, to complain or call in. Then I'll be really impressed. You guys went the extra mile on that one.
Yeah, but. So there will be some programming interruptions the next 2 days.
A couple.
Potentially tomorrow, too. If Goddard wins today, our morning show tomorrow will get cut off about an hour short, about probably around 8:45, 8:50. We'll turn over to sports there. So, but we got to get through today first.
Which is awful because our 9 o'clock guest tomorrow was going to give us the secret of life. So I hope you like your baseball. That's all I'm saying. We could have really had something here.
He's going to solve world peace.
That's right. Turns out he just has a tray of world peas.
Or she. Could have been either one.
Yeah, fair.
But they were going to solve world peace. We're on our own. But
let's face it. If world peace ever comes, it will be a she.
Well, it's going to be pageant winners that find it, because they're all the ones that are asking. That's the official. What do you want in this world peace? They all want that.
America and other countries such as.
I still, every time, it's one of the Miss Worlds or Miss one of those things, and it's from a couple years ago, but every once in a while it makes its way around the internet, and I giggle every single time it comes out. It's the one where they do this, it's like they're introducing the different pageant contestants and the countries they represent, and so how they were filming it was this shot where they kind of had a close-up of each of the pageant contestants, and they'd say, "I'm so-and-so from the United States of America," or whatever it is. And so the ladies are doing that, and then you get to the lady who does from France, and she's like, "I'm from France." Just like France. It just was funny.
Yeah,
so every time that thing rolls around, I giggle every time I see it.
France. That's I love all those pageant outtakes. It's funny that some have actually turned that into a career. If only the Haktua girl could have learned from and I can't think of her name right offhand. Dadgummit, the blonde whose famous line, the America and other countries such as.
Oh, I don't know the name, but I know the
She parlayed that into a pretty successful career.
Yeah.
Like movies, TV shows. He was all over the place. Poor Haktua girl, all she got out of it was a failed meme coin.
Well, I feel like she set her own path there.
That's true.
She let others influence her, and because clearly she seems like a lovely lady, but I don't think she's a planner and is well organized when it comes to her life and stuff. Just a hunch.
Whatever happened to Pookie? I was reading a story today that the CEO of Airbnb is looking to expand the services that they offer.
Yeah.
To where you can have experiences with them, including renting celebrities for the day.
Wow.
They said you could have throw a football with Patrick Mahomes and have barbecue for lunch. Was one of them. I'm like, you could have a spitting contest with the Haktua girl.
You could.
Right?
By the way, you should throw the football first, then eat the barbecue.
Yeah,
you don't want to get the barbecue all over the football.
You get a little logie.
You get a good spiral with the sauce on your fingers.
Ball.
All right, I got to get the hour going. We do have a full slate for you for today. We are going to replay our interview this hour. We had the ladies from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women join us early in the week, talking about their next meeting next Wednesday at the Elks Lodge. So we're going to play that for you here in just a bit. Dan Jennings with 100% Chavez County is going to be joining us here in the 8 o'clock hour. They've got their opioid settlement, a summit for that, talking about the monies from the opioid settlements and all that. They're having a summit to kind of plot and plan, and let's see what we can do with this money to make the most benefit out of it. So Dan's going to talk to us about that in the 8 o'clock hour. And then we're going to replay our interview we had yesterday with Meredith Hildreth from the city here, and then consultant Jason King. They're doing their big master plan thing tonight at 5:30. They're going to have Jason's going to be doing his presentation at the library, and of course they're doing open. I wouldn't say enrollment because that's not the right word, but open. They're seeking people's opinion survey.
Sure.
So they're having open sessions.
Forum.
Yeah, today and tomorrow as well. But we'll play that interview here for you in the 9 o'clock.
Very good.
Plus, we'll have all the newses and of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. And plenty of baseball and softball action the rest of the day.
Yep.
But first, your weather.
You received a social media message or text from an unknown number. They started a conversation with you, and over time, they earn your trust. Then, they encourage you to invest online or buy cryptocurrency. And when you do, they disappear, along with your money. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some clouds early today, but will clear up through the midday and afternoon hours. And we're headed for the upper 80s, maybe 90, and still a little bit windy with a few gusts around 30 miles an hour. Overnight, a few clouds drifting through, upper 50s and breezy, and then we'll hit about 90 for the afternoon high on Friday. Should be sunny, and then sunshine and warm through the upcoming weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 63 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 22% with winds currently out of the north at 5 miles per hour. Good news is the winds aren't going to be as bad as the last couple days, but today will be a little breezy, mostly cloudy through mid-morning, but gradually clearing, and expect a high mid-80s today, 86 officially, with north winds 5 to 10 this morning, 15 to 20 out of the southwest later today. Tonight, we are looking at clear skies with an overnight low of 55 degrees, southwest winds 15 to 20. Could see wind gusts this evening as high as 30 miles per hour. Winds will drop down 10 to 15 after midnight. For you, Friday, sunny and 88. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tomorrow night with an overnight low of 58. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Looking at the weekend, partly cloudy with a high of 91 on Saturday. Southwest winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 25 for Saturday afternoon. Sunday, sunny and 89. Winds will be breezy there. And looks like upper 80s on Monday, 87, 86. Tuesday of next week, looking up near 90 for Wednesday of next week. All right, 7:18. We're going to take a quick commercial break. One thing with carrying a bunch of baseball today, kind of gives me a few more commercials got to get through here. So, because we'll be playing baseball day and it's a whole thing. But anyway, if you say a quick commercial break, it's going to be a minute or two, and then we'll play our interview with the Chavez County Federated Republican Women. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Step back in time at the Lincoln Forest Renaissance Fair, May 16th through 18th at Wingfield Park in Ruidoso. Join us for 3 magical days of pirates, knights, fairies, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss our Saturday night headliners, Celtic rock legends, the Young Dubliners, lighting up the stage on May 17th at 7 p.m. Get tickets and details now at LincolnForestRenFair.com.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 5,700 current Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU, student success, that's what we're about.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660.
It's been a long, cold, boring winter, and children in neighborhoods everywhere are waiting to hear those magical words. The pool's open! Summer weather has finally rolled around. Make sure your pool is ready. Preparing and maintaining your pool for summer the right way will create a season full of smiles instead of headaches and make your life much easier. Soft Swim, the chlorine-free sanitizing system by BioGuard, only at Mays Lumber Company.
And now through May 15th, buy $100 in BioGuard products and receive a $20 mail-in rebate. 115 South Virginia in Roswell.
End of the month, get scorching savings across the lot on a great selection of vehicles, like a new 2026 Honda Passport as low as 3.99% for 36 months, or a 25 Honda Civic Sedan Hybrid, just 4.99% for 48 months, or lease a 2025 Honda Ridgeline all-wheel drive, just $409 a month for 36 months. Roswell Honda has the deals to take your summer adventure to a whole new level. The summer of fun begins at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, no, I'm growing like a bamboo. Here's Mike Winters.
And welcome. Chavez County Federated Republican Women are back with us. Of course, President Charlotte Goulet. There we go. Yeah,
right.
my tongue's a little tired right now. I don't know what's going on there. And also joining us, Polly Hartman, who is chairperson of the Americanism Committee there with the Federated Republican Women. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you? How's you doing? How you feeling? I know this week's a little hot. Y'all dealing with the heat okay?
It hasn't started quite yet, but it's a beautiful
70s,
morning.
The 70s last week were nice, but
90s?
That was our spring.
Yeah, 90s the first couple of days this week, right?
Yeah, it's going to be 90s all week here,
It's
so
gonna be nice.
it's very good. For to start us off, in case you're not familiar, the Chavez County Federated Republican Women, of course, they join us on the radio here each month, but part of what they do is right in the title there. They support the Republican Party for the state of New Mexico. Right. The Chavez County branch, particularly working with Chavez County candidates and things locally down here, but they do all the state. But that's kind of one half of it. If you're wanting to, conservative values, Republican values, you want to support that. That's this organization. However, the other half is service organization. It's working with students, working with the community, working with other nonprofit organizations to help them on their mission statements. And so when there's not elections and things going on to learn about candidates and promote the candidates that we want that meets our needs, you're out there serving in the community. So that's
exactly.
And the cool part is you get to hang out with them every month. And you usually come in a week before our meeting. And so that third Wednesday of the month.
Yes.
Is at 11:30 is the Chavez County Federated Republican Women. Used to be at the Convention and Civic Center, but we all know where that's going on. So the Elks have been
1720 North
the
Montana.
Elks have been your host for the last several months here, and of course they good for us. They know what they're doing in the kitchen, and they know how to host an event. So the only thing that changes is it's a different address. Everything else is the same.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely right.
And of course, and say, hey, some depending, obviously, when it's close to election season, you generally see a lot of candidates and a lot of elected officials or hopeful elected officials coming to talk to you. But it kind of in this, it's still like we're still doing a lot of legislative stuff, a lot of things. So there's still a lot to talk about, even though there's not necessarily an election right around the corner.
Right. We had the legislators come in last month to give us a recap of the session. So that was very informative.
Yeah.
And then this month we have the county manager, the city manager, and also the deputy chief, RPD deputy chief, Michael Taylor. He's going to be joining us. Yeah.
Very good. So it's kind of now you get to hear the people behind the scenes that run the things that aren't elected officials. Like like at the end of the day, if you don't or aren't familiar, a county manager answers to the county commission.
Right.
But they're the ones that run the county as far as who's hired and what departments are, and make sure the departments are doing the thing. That's what the county manager does, and then the city manager does it for the city. He answers to the city, or she, but in this case it's a he. He answers to the city council.
Right.
And so that they're really, the city manager is the person that makes the city or the county go. They're the ones that are they're the head. They're the highest person that's not elected in the city or the county. They're different things. So so you really, if you want to know how the sausage is made in Chaves County and the city of Roswell, those two people know more than anybody else about that.
Yes.
And then, like you said, you're talking to Deputy Chief, who serves directly under Police Chief Lance Bateman. As a matter of fact, we just had Mike Taylor on back when Every 15 Minutes was on here about 2 weeks ago with the Chaves County DBOBI program.
Great program.
Mike was kind of our Sherpa to kind of tell us what's going on and explain everything here. So you'll get a chance to meet him next week as well, too, if you haven't already.
Years ago, I used to be the DWI coordinator, so very
you probably
familiar
not dealt with Mike quite, or
with that program, Every 15.
Program.
Yeah, with Diane Taylor. Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. She's still running it like she is with like a pretty well-oiled machine.
Oh yeah, ball of energy.
Very good.
Yeah.
So great guests next time. So I got to ask the next question. What's on the menu?
It is going to be a taco plate with beans, rice, and salsa.
Can't go
and
wrong
that's
with
for
that.
$17. And we are asking that people RSVP ahead of time so we can make sure that we have plenty of food.
We don't want to overwhelm the chefs at the Elks there to get that done.
And the food is absolutely amazing. Again, that's going to be Wednesday, May 21st.
And it's really affordable. I mean, you think $17, but you bought lunch lately? Or dinner lately? Or anything else lately?
I know, it's ridiculous.
Anywhere? And you're dropping coins. So to be honest, the fact that they're able to pull this off for that price is probably of a blessing for us all.
Yes. Doors open at 11:30. The buffet starts moving around 11:40.
And if you want to just come for the meeting, you're more than welcome. You don't have to. But if you and they ask you to RSVP either way. But if you're not coming for food, it's not as big an issue because they really want to know how many plates to go and how many spaces for everybody. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen is you're like, no, I'm not going to eat. I'm on a diet or I'm whatever. And then you walk in there and it's tacos and beans. Come on. It's kind of making me hungry. And then you're going to want to mooch off the guys next to your plate and all that. Just get a plate.
And for that $17, you get your plate, you get iced tea or water, and you get dessert.
Yeah.
Plus, listen, to very informative speakers.
I'm saying this time you got really three good. I mean, they're always good ones, but this is three good ones this time. Like, if you're really wanting to know how things run in your neighborhoods, you're talking to three people that really have their finger on the pulse of that stuff. And so if you got questions, if you want to hear that stuff, there's not going to be many more people in the room that are going to know more than these three people about that.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to touch on what's going on in the city as well as the county, but then more specifically, the air races, they're both involved, with that setup.
Absolutely.
So, I'd like to see what their take is on it.
Absolutely. We're all scrambling. I was kind of talking earlier in the day with folks on the radio about, this Reno air races, and it's going to be a learning curve for us. I'm telling you right now, expect to be some issues this year because I don't know if we expect what we expect are coming. We talk about it, but until it happens, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have some learning issues. And yes, we don't have all the infrastructure in place that they really need to do everything, but we will. And so, this year we're going to learn some things. It's going to make it a great thing, but there might be a few points of that didn't work. That wasn't right. And then we're going to get better. But these are the kind of meetings you have to talk about these things and to hear about what's going on. This is an amazing opportunity. But we got a lot of work to do to make sure this amazing opportunity comes to fruition.
Bobby Thompson was also, one of the speakers last month, and she was kind of giving us an idea of what to expect. And she said that the pilots were going to be coming in this month too.
Yeah, this month they're getting their licenses and getting certified on the courses out there and everything. Yeah, this is a kind of a dress rehearsal this month. So
and she was saying that they anticipate about $80 million in revenues for the area. So, I mean, that's remarkable.
Ain't nothing wrong with those
And
numbers.
then she, right? And she said that they have about 1,000 trash cans ready to go out there. So, I mean, just...
And no one thinks of these things.
Yeah.
You just think you show up to an event and it happens. No, you got to plan every detail to how many trash cans are around at a given area, and that's going to be a learning curve. We're gonna, I'm going to take a stab. We'll get overwhelmed this year. It's going to happen. It's not. It's just how we respond and how we do is one thing, but if you don't think this one's not going to be as smooth as butter, it's not gonna, because it's the first one of many. It's a big bite. This is a big thing. I don't think this is level events in a town of 50,000 in a year, and it's going to be every year. Wrap your head around. That's an amazing thing to think about.
It definitely
is.
And we have it was started out with these requirements and is continued 3 points that the kids are to cover in their essay. The definition of patriotism.
Okay.
The next one is, who is the most patriotic person you know or you know of, or someone who is, from history that you want to talk about?
Someone you know, or someone you know of?
That person. Exactly. Exactly. And then the third question is, how can you be more patriotic or be patriotic? Some ideas or things you're already doing. So we like them to cover those particular
and I like
points.
it. I like it because, to be honest, you can't answer 2 and 3 without answering question 1 first. Like if you don't define what patriotism means to you, it's kind of hard to see it, spot it, and do it yourself.
Yes.
So I love that it kind of forces these 8th grade students to kind of think about this thing a little bit. And to be honest, patriotism means a lot to people, and it means different things to people. And some people, it's all about flag waving and red, white, and blue. Others, it's a little deeper than that. And both are right in their own ways.
Right. And these essays show those different ideas. And so we've had several people be the judges of the essays and have come up with 3 winners. And
that's great.
Those haven't been announced to the kids yet. So
well, you got to come and eat some tacos with us here and find out. Next Wednesday, you'll find out.
I think, this week we will be presenting them to the kids at Gateway in person.
And that's another thing. I know if we ever want to do that, and some of these scholarship kids want to join us on one of these meetings, love to have them come in.
That would be.
It's always fun
that would be awesome.
to let them kind of share their thoughts with us and present that stuff.
We do give them an award, and was told I could tell what.
That's some great students working hard, and we get to brag on them a little bit next week here, which is really cool.
And I love that idea of bringing them in. Maybe we can do that.
I'd love
next,
to do a spotlight. I love, because I like to
have the young people.
Yeah, I like to give them a little shine too on the radio.
It's
kind of a big deal. People be on the radio. I'm a little jaded to it, but I know other people are.
That's a wonderful idea. I'll definitely put that on my list.
And to be honest, I love when people hear and see. Like, I get it. You live this world and you get online, and if you ain't mad about something, you ain't living. That's the world we live in, and it's easy to get into dark places when these things happen. You know what the best reminders of that? Seeing and showing young people doing great things. And anytime I can give one of these kids a platform and to spotlight them, but for our own mental health, when those, because we all have those moments like, man, we're doomed. And then some bright kid says something like, okay, we're not doomed. We just got to tap into the right people.
Well, it would be great to hear it from their perspective.
Love
the younger generation, and see what that means.
The
to
older
them.
we get, the more set in our ways and thoughts and the way we do things. And sometimes we need to be reminded by young people that maybe we shouldn't lock the door yet. Maybe we should open that up and allow other thoughts and opinions to, we can evolve and grow and change, even on your deathbed, if you choose to. You know what I mean? And sometimes we as humans forget that. And the older we get, the more entitled we get, the more, I've been doing this a long time, therefore it must be so. And sometimes we got to shake our own selves out of those types of mindsets. And
keep that open mind.
And sometimes a 16-year-old kid with some bright ideas is just the medicine you need to do that.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I have plenty of grandkids that tell me that.
Yeah.
Grams that's old school. You need to listen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we would love to come to the next meeting. Again, it's always that third Wednesday of the month, 11:30, and for the foreseeable future, it'll be at the Elks Lodge there. It's always offering a delicious meal each month, so pre-register to get that done. And come and join us. Come hear the great stuff. Come it's put it this way: if you're wanting to hear what's going on in our community, this is a monthly opportunity to kind of be plugged in.
Right.
And by the way, you get to eat delicious food while you do it. So might as well call it a win and get plugged in and like this time we really get to see the leaders that are literally making the decisions and executing the things that our elected officials do. Those are going to be the people in the room that you get to pick their brain and hear.
Oh, sure. That's our mission, is to keep the public informed. So come out and have a nice meal. Listen, to our speakers.
Yeah.
Get involved. Come
Absolutely.
Be part of.
And that's another thing. Always
committee.
looking for more federated Republican women and fellas to be a part of that. The men are more than welcome to be a part of it. You serve in a auxiliary type role.
Associate.
That's the word. I always every organization has their unique word. Associate type role. And so you serve at that level. But the family, kids get involved too. That a lot of these scholarships and stuff. These are young folks that are. You may see them at the meeting, bussing tables or doing various ancillary things that needed to get done. These are kids that are learning and earning towards a scholarship. They're junior level Chaves County Federated Republican women, basically, and they are kind of, and hopefully at one point being regular Chaves County Federated Republican women. That's the old goal, is get a farm club here. But
future voters,
future voters, future things, and that's
absolutely.
And so that's what this organization's about. And like I said, this is that service side. And when they're not doing it, like they're always helping out TrueServe, just various other, the Assurance Home. That's one of your pet projects. Are always doing stuff for work for that organization. And so it's as much of that as it is, debates and candidates and all that kind of stuff.
And like you said, even if you are not interested in a meal, give us a call. We'll have a seat reserved for you.
If you're not hungry, well, I defy you not to be hungry once you smell everything.
Oh, I know. It's a great venue. The food's
better willpower
great.
than me. and actually, while I got you here, Paul, I kind of talk a little bit about the Americanism, the Patriotic Committee. I mean, yes, this is one of your big things, but what's kind of what is some of the things your committee kind of focuses on? I'm just curious.
I was asked to be on the board and as the Americanism chairwoman, and she said, all you need to do is lead the pledge at the meetings.
So it's really promoting that. But like you said, it's a little more than that, obviously. But working with the youth and
actually, it made me think about some things of bringing a young person in the first month after I accepted the job. A young woman had memorized the Gettysburg Address, and it was in February.
Nice.
And I thought, hey, I bet she would share that with us, and it was a hit.
Awesome.
And so that had to do with Americanism, I felt like, and another later.
So it's kind of,
just
focusing,
ideas,
hey, don't forget, this is our history, this is our stuff. Who we are, what we are, this is why we are, and from time to time we're going to remind you of that.
There are no major set things for Americanism other this essay
promote these scholarships
contest
and things like this, and these opportunities, and promoting American history
to do with,
to our younger cultures and things, and it's. But this is the big thing, and yes, kids learn history and history books, and they'll learn dates and begats this and that. And as you get a little older, going on to higher high school and college levels, they get a little more talking about these discussions and things. But history, yes, dates and stuff are finite. On this date, this happened to what. But the rest of it's a little, opinions, great, perspectives and things like that. And sometimes that's the side of history where you got to use your critical thinking brain and decide, okay, what's more wives' tale or promoting an agenda versus this is what happened, who went where, when, and did what, and whom. And sometimes history gets a little, there's an event, like you could talk about a particular event and you'll get 20 people have different opinions on that event. And so that's what the Americanism side is important to say, yes, we had this whatever thing. This is what is. This is what happens. This is how people are feeling at the time. And, you know, and this, as a guy that likes history, it's real easy to judge it from your perspective. And people forget, you know, this thing happened in a certain day, but you don't understand. You're thinking about it from your 2025 brain. Let's think about this in your 1861 brain and see how life was and see if this seems so radical to you. And that's the point I like to remind with people of history. And I think the Americanism does that too. It's like, yes, our history has lots of tragedy and lots of things that happen. But to judge it from a 2025 brain is not fair. You know, that's like people that talk about our forefathers. There was a slavery. Yeah. In 1776, this is the mindset. They didn't think the same that we do in 2025. And so for you to judge their thought process in a 2025 version is not fair. And I like to remind people. But anyway, I got way sidetracked.
I haven't branched out a whole lot with Americanism in our group, but I've enjoyed being part of it.
Absolutely. And so come next week. Come here Wednesday. Again, 11:30 is when the door, everything will get underway here.
Doors open.
The actual meeting will probably start about noon.
At noon.
And so you got time to eat and mingle and chit chat and visit with friends. It's a social thing as much as an informative thing. There's a lot of, you know, people you ain't seen all month and you see them there. It's like, hey, you got a little sauce. But that's so it's as much a social fun thing as it is information, educational, and informative. It's
absolutely.
And so I just kind of put it on your calendar, third Wednesday every month. Mark it down. Chaves County Federated Republic. Make it note.
Can I just give the email? Okay, to RSVP, it's rsvpccfrw@gmail.com.
Okay.
So shoot us an email. Let us know if you're interested.
And if you don't remember any of that, I invite you to go to the Chaves County Federated Republic and Women Facebook page. Put in the message, sorry, I heard you on the radio. I missed the email, but me and my friend are coming. Can you RSVP us? And one of the ladies will say, yep, we'll get you locked in.
Absolutely.
Or get it to the people that does lock in.
Yes. Yes,
but, so if you forget the email or don't remember, and of course if you know a Federated Republican Women member, they'd be happy to help you navigate through.
Yeah,
So
reach out to any of us.
If one's your neighbor or your friend or coworker, then tap into them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
Bring in a neighbor, a friend, and come join us.
Share, especially, and I would offer that, especially if you came and you're like, man, this was really informative, good. Bring a friend next time. Bring it, and this is, and to be honest. Maybe you're not the most conservative person in the world. That's okay. Come and listen. Come here. Guess what? You want the same things. We all want to be happy. We want the best for our families and ourselves.
And we want to be informed.
Yeah, this is all universal. It don't matter if you DR, green, nothing, purple. It doesn't matter. All people want that.
Very true.
Awesome. Ladies, is there anything that I sidebarred us on or with something you wanted to cover that we didn't get a chance to?
I would just say I was a Republican woman for quite a few years and read about these meetings and in the paper, and I just finally started thinking I ought to go to one of those.
The light bulb clicked one day.
Yes, and really, once I did, I thought this is very informative and everything we've talked about.
Yeah.
So I
you find purpose here. That's why you're still here.
Yes, and it definitely helped me, and it is good to get together with like-minded.
I'm telling you, if you're kind of in a rut and you're not, and you socially even, come make some friends.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's the Chaves County Federated Republic of Women. You're probably gonna have a bunch of girlfriends, and now we'll go out to drinks or coffee or whatever you're into.
Actually, we do that. We're a fun group. Hey, come and join us. Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Come be again. Look for Chaves County Federated Republic of Women on Facebook. Just type in. All of that, or CCFWR, something like that.
CCFRW.
There it is. I got the acronym mixed up there. But you look for that, and it'll come right up. And then, of course, don't forget, next Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. at the Elks Lodge here in town. That's the next Chaves County Federated Republican Women. This is your official 2-minute notice. You got to get RSVP'd and get out there for next week.
Absolutely. Love to see you.
Thank you, ladies, and we'll see you here in about a month.
Thank you, Mike.
Sounds great.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Salado Isolation Mining Contractors reports it's taken 1,000 shipments of nuclear waste since it took over the WIP facility near Carlsbad 2 years ago. Salado took over for Nuclear Waste Partnership, which had the contract for the 10 previous years. Simcoe was signed to the $3 billion contract in November of 2022. The agreement included 4 base years of WIP operations, followed by 6 optional one-year extensions. There is a new leader at Sandia National Labs. Laura McGill is the new director. On Wednesday, McGill outlined her vision for the future of one of the country's top labs and one of the community's top employers. McGill really wants to lean into that designation as one of the most important labs in the country. She says her goal is not just to build on the reputation of the labs, but to ensure that the country is able to handle the most critical issues that it faces. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Think social media is just for 20-something influencers with six-pack abs and ring lights? Think again. I'm Kim Commando for Oracle. Cut your current cloud bill in half. Move to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Find out right now if your company qualifies at oracle.com/Kim. Joy Ryan didn't even have a passport until she was 91 years old. Now at 94, she's on a mission to visit every continent, and she's on Instagram as Grandma Joy's Road Trip. She's a grandfluencer, someone proving that it's never too late to start something new. There's 94-year-old Lillian Droniak with over 14 million TikTok followers, and she says you better cry at her funeral, but not too much. Then there's Joan McDonald, 78, who deadlifts 175 pounds with 2 million fans cheering her on. So what's stopping you? And yes, there's money in this. The biggest names can earn 6 figures for a single post. Start your day with my free newsletter. You should sign up right now at getkim.com to your company's profits. It's your cloud computing bill. You may have gotten a deal to start, but now the spend is sky high and increasing every year. What if you could cut your cloud bill in half and improve performance at the same time? Well, if you act by May 31st, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure can help you do just that. OCI is the next generation cloud designed for every workload, where you can run any application, including any AI projects, faster and more securely for less. In fact, Oracle has a special promotion where you can cut your cloud bill in half when you switch to OCI. The savings are real. On average, OCI costs 50% less for computing, 70% less for storage, and 80% less for networking. Join today's innovative AI tech companies who upgraded to OCI and saved. Offer only for new U.S. customers with a minimum financial commitment. See if you qualify for half off at oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some clouds early today, but will clear up through the midday and afternoon hours. And we're headed for the upper 80s, maybe 90, and still a little bit windy with a few gusts around 30 miles an hour. Overnight, a few clouds drifting through, upper 50s and breezy, and then we'll hit about 90 for the afternoon high on Friday. Should be sunny, and then sunshine and warm through the upcoming weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Baseball playoffs today in Albuquerque. All of these games will be at the Riordan Sports Complex. It's Goddard, the 12th seed in Class 4A, taking on the number 13 Chaparral. That starts at 12:30. Goddard swept Los Alamos over this past weekend. NMMI, the top seed after getting a bye past the first round in 3A, will take on number 9 Sandia Prep. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. That Goddard game is at 12:30, by the way. And Gateway Christian, the 2nd seed in Class 1A, also had a bye for the first round. They'll take on number 3 Logan in a semifinal. That starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And Dexter in softball, the top seed, they'll be taking on number 2 Cobre. That's at 11 a.m. at Los Altos in Albuquerque. Dexter yesterday defeated Robertson 11-4. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The 90-day tariff truce announced by China in the United States on Monday is expected to trigger an immediate surge in demand for container shipping, with some of the analysts warning the increase in shipments could be so large that it creates bottlenecks at American ports. Boeing has secured a pair of major orders in the Middle East. Boeing confirmed a $96 billion order from Qatar 1 day after announcing an order from a company in Saudi Arabia for 20 737 jets. California's top insurance regulator has said that State Farm can soon start raising premiums by 17% for all of its home insurance customers in the state to help the insurer rebuild the capital following the Los Angeles wildfires. A jury in Arkansas federal court found that Walmart owes technology startup Zest Labs more than $222 million following a retrial on allegations that Walmart stole its trade secrets for reducing food waste. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Hey, Roswell, during these unprecedented times when others are raising prices, Roswell Ford is lowering ours with employee pricing for everyone. So you pay what we pay. Only at Roswell Ford. Make no payments for 90 days. Upside down in your current vehicle and want out early? Roswell Ford can help you get out of your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. So you can pay what we pay today with employee pricing to all customers on new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. And our aggressive finance team will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Attention business owners, Roswell Ford has a great selection of commercial vehicles, and we have them for less. Plus, Roswell Ford offers mobile services, so our certified technicians will come to you and perform oil changes, tire rotations, batteries, recalls, and more. Contact us for details. For massive American-made savings and employee pricing for everyone, get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinanced to new loan subject to lender approval. Offers not combined. Expires at month's end.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
A bedroom is a quiet escape where I go for peace and comfort. This is Melanie at Glenn's Furniture. I know how important the most private room in your home is for your life and the lives of your family. That's why we offer a selection of bedroom groups that make living easier and more comfortable. Modern designs, bold curves, and stylish fabrics elevate your bedroom space. You'll find your new set easy to sleep on and even easier to own. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Do you know what the hardest part of dealing with the roofer is? Just trying to get them on the phone. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that you can always trust Trustmark Roofing to answer our phone. Need a free roof inspection? Just call us at 575-755-ROOF, and we'll answer with a live person, a real human being. Have a roofing project already going with us and need to discuss it? Just call 575-755-ROOF, and we will answer the phone. No answering machine, no voicemails, and no weird robot automated attendant. That's because at Trustmark Roofing, we're all about relationships and treating people right. That's true for customers and vendors and insurance companies and employees. Anyone and everyone who comes in contact with our company. So if you have any roofing needs at all, trust Trustmark to treat you right and to answer the phone. Our number again is 575-755-ROOF, or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. Success starts here.
Check out some of the Markdown Madness specials you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. 30-count variety packs of Capri Sun are $7.98 each, and boxes of Kraft Original Mac and Cheese are 5 for $5. In produce, Farm Fresh Super Select cucumbers are 3 for $1, and 5-count bags of Haas avocados are $2.99 each. In the meat department, family packs of boneless beef top sirloin steaks are $6.99 a pound, and family packs of bone-in sirloin cut pork chops are $1.49 a pound. These are just some of the Markdown Madness bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Roswell Nissan presents live coverage of the NMAA State Tournament from Albuquerque. Tune in to Roswell's Talk FM 106.5 or KSVPTV.com for Goddard Rockets softball Thursday morning at 11 a.m. as they take on St. Pius, followed by Goddard Rocket baseball at 12:30 as they take on Chaparral. Then tune in for afternoon baseball at 4 p.m. as Gateway Christian takes on Logan, and NMMI at 7 p.m. against Sandia Prep. Catch all the action on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM or online at KSVPTV.com. Brought to you by Roswell Nissan, proud supporter of Roswell Sports.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:59, closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News will be coming up here in just a few seconds. Stay tuned next hour, around 8:15 or so. Dan Jennings is going to join us with 100% Chavez County. They've got the big opioid settlement summit that's going to be coming up here on May 28th, kind of a forum to discuss what to do with the funding from those opioid settlements. So we'll talk more about that with Dan next hour. I hope you heard the promo that played just before me. If you didn't, we got a bevy of high school playoff action for you beginning at 11 o'clock here today, and it goes on till 7 o'clock tonight. All right, Town Hall News is up next. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. The Supreme Court is hearing arguments in its first case stemming from the flurry of actions marking the start of President Trump's second term. Justices today will hear the administration's emergency appeals of lower court injunctions. Those orders have put nationwide holds on the president's push to deny citizenship to children born to people who are in the U.S. illegally. The administration complains judges are overreaching by issuing nationwide injunctions that apply to everyone instead of just the parties before the court. In the Mideast, the Israeli military continues to pound Gaza with deadly airstrikes.
The latest strikes hit homes and tents sheltering displaced families across Khan Yunis. Local journalists say the corridors of Nasser Hospital are crowded with casualties and the morgue is full. Meanwhile, new Israeli displacement orders have caused panic in western Gaza City. Israel says a hospital and a university and schools turned into shelters have become terrorist strongholds. Separately, a U.S.-backed humanitarian organization has said it will start work in Gaza within 2 weeks as part of a new heavily criticized aid distribution plan.
The BBC's Yolanda Nell reporting. Before leaving Qatar today, President Trump addressed troops at a U.S. airbase.
Your spirit and courage and sacrifice has always been there when we needed you the most. You're always there when we need you the most.
The president is now in the United Arab Emirates. After an arrival ceremony, he went to the Grand Mosque for a tour. Vice President J.D. Vance will attend Pope Leo XIV's inaugural Mass at the Vatican this Sunday. The White House says the U.S. delegation will also include Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Vance is the first Catholic convert to serve as VP. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is scrambling to negotiate with competing factions of his conference as he tries to advance the massive Trump tax cut and budget bill by the end of next week. Correspondent Bernie Bennett reports.
The self-labeled SALT Republicans are at an impasse with GOP leadership over the state and local tax deduction. House Ways and Means Committee Chair Jason Smith of Missouri told reporters Wednesday that there's only about $50 billion to work with, putting Johnson in a tough spot to please the mostly blue state members who are pushing to beef up the $30,000 cap currently in the bill. The speaker will meet with a cross-section of these opposing groups this morning in his office. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Tariff-induced price increases will soon show up at Walmart. The company says the Trump administration's trade war is forcing it to raise prices on goods starting later this month. Word of the price hikes comes as the nation's largest retailer posted solid first-quarter sales. News and analysis at townhall.com. A top European court has ruled the European Commission was wrong to refuse the New York Times access to text messages sent between the EC president and a pharmaceutical boss during COVID-19.
The court case highlights ongoing questions about transparency at the Commission, which insists that text messages and other ephemeral electronic communications do not necessarily constitute documents of interest that should be saved or made public. Nicole Taylor for the NYT says that the decision is a victory for transparency, sending a powerful message that ephemeral communications are not beyond the reach of public scrutiny. The US newspaper's lawyers had succeeded in rebutting the presumption of non-existence and of non-possession of the requested documents.
That's correspondent Charles de Ledesma. Pete Rose celebrated by the Reds last night, a day after he was removed from MLB's ineligibility list. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. Good youth. Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Ah, yes.
High school playoff Thursday as we will have games, plenty for you. I'm just going to do the quick rundown. 11 o'clock, Goddard softball.
Didn't even need the paper anymore.
Yeah, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is Goddard softball. Kelly's going to call that game for you. That game at 12:30, Goddard baseball will start their game against Chaparral. We will go to that game at the conclusion of softball. So as soon as the softball game wraps up, we're going to switch things over to Henry to call the baseball game. So that'll be on. We might miss an inning or two depending on how quick the softball game goes. So so then we'll have that for you for Goddard baseball. Again, 12:30-ish when that'll start for us here.
Yeah.
Then at 4 o'clock, we'll have Gateway Christian playoff baseball for you here. Henry's going to book it right over to that. As soon as the conclusion of the Goddard game, he's going to book it over to the Nimmie field where where Gateway Christian's playing, and then call that game for you. 4 o'clock is scheduled for that one. Hopefully, I'm just average baseball game's 3 hours. This is what I'm telling you. Do the math here. It's going to be tricky. And then at 7 o'clock, we have Nimmie Colt baseball for you. They're the 1 seed in their playoffs, and we'll bring that. Henry will, again, book on over to the field with Nimmie, and I hope he's got a transporter. I don't know how he's going to do that.
Right.
Or that Harry Potter clock.
Yeah, the time turner.
Yeah, that thing. But he's gonna do this somehow, some way.
That's crazy. Like literally, and I haven't thought about that series in months.
Yeah.
But that's the second reference to Harry Potter this morning.
Wow.
Because randomly, I was trying to remember as I was driving to work this morning.
Yeah.
Which ones or who Wormtail, Padfoot, Mooney, and Prongs were. Like I was trying to remember which one of those the 4 were.
Right.
As I was thinking about the Marauders map from book 3 for those who are curious. But yeah, that's the second Harry Potter reference of the morning.
Did you figure them all out?
I most of them. I was.
Which one was the one you were stumped on?
Prongs is the one I'm hung up on. I can't remember who Prongs is. I know Wormtail was
the rat dude.
Yeah, the rat dude.
The bag. Yeah.
Padfoot was the dog.
Yeah.
Sirius.
Yeah.
Mooney was
the wolf,
wolf.
The teacher, professor.
Yeah, the professor. And Prongs, I just could not remember. I think that was maybe. I think that was James Potter. I think that was his dad.
It was the dad. Yeah. He was the dad.
Harry's dad.
Yeah,
so there you go. Nerd itch scratch.
Mystery solved, and Henry needs the clock.
Yeah.
So that's what we've solved.
I like to think he's gonna be like hitching a ride tailgate style on like a golf cart.
Yes.
He's gonna find a couple of randos and be like, "Can you guys get me to field 4?"
I picture my Henry as a majestic steed.
I like to think of my Henry riding on a white horse. Farts rainbows.
But yes, so Henry's gonna have to play Superman today and hop from field to field to bring it. But he's gonna do it. We'll bring it all to you. Again, all these games, they're playoffs. We do not have video permissions because it's playoffs. But you can hear audio only of all these broadcasts at ksvptv.com.
Yeah.
And we'll have the audio, and it'll keep a scoreboard up.
And by the way, props to the unsung hero of this playoffs series, Mr. Mike Winters.
Oh, I'm
dude,
just
no. Don't be humble.
They're out going there. I'm literally sitting here just pushing buttons.
But that's plenty, and it's an entire day's worth of that. So
my biggest thing is, it's the William Shatner Airplane 2 thing, where he's walking through the moon base there with Stryker doing the tour, and then he starts looking. They're all flashing and beeping and flashing. Why are these beeping out of sequence? I don't know. Well, beep them in sequence, and then the doors. So I get a little of that feeling, a little caged animal feel a bit, but other than that, so I'm going to try to break away to do things like go to the bathroom and find food at some point. But this is my home now, so that's what I'll be today.
They did that joke, a sort of a similar version of that joke on the show IT Crowd,
the
BBC show.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character named Redmond? Yeah, Redmond, who's basically been stuck behind the red door. He's like the hidden character.
Right.
And they talk about the lights on the wall, and he goes, that one right there, it blinks twice and then stops. And then once. What's it for?
Right.
What's that for?
Yeah. Hey, so real quick, I'll talk a little more sports, then we'll move on with our hour here.
Yes.
But so NFL released their the schedule yesterday, and there's a lot of things people are talking about. But the one thing that I think folks mostly around here will be interested in, and they most know that care, but the ones that are passive fans will not know. So Christmas Day, the Washington Commanders will be hosting the Dallas Cowboys on a Netflix broadcast.
Really?
Christmas Day.
Wow.
Cowboys Commanders.
Your Christmas coming early. Look
Interesting there. So, which it's kind of funny. I'm getting mixed bags on Christmas. Like I'm seeing, some people love it, and and then other people are like, well, Christmas is ruined.
Yeah, I'd imagine that depends on where your loyalties lie.
Yeah. Well, mostly, like one, and this one kind of made me laugh is there's a, you know me, I'm a radiophile, and so there's a few sports radio talk guys in the D.C. area I follow on social media and keep tabs. And one guy, he hosts a radio show on the sports talk station there in D.C. His nickname's the Rooster. He's Chris, but anyway, like he was on his social media yesterday, like, wonderful, I get to work on Christmas now.
Yeah.
Thanks. And he was not happy.
Yeah, that's the other thing, and I understand that it's a tradition on like days like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Sure, it's been a thing for eons, and I'm not trying to take that away. Christmas games, that feels like a relatively new thing, and it doesn't necessarily feel fair.
To me, like the NBA kind of had the Christmas lockdown, didn't they? Like if you want to watch sports on Christmas, it was usually NBA action.
Yeah.
Now
that
the
sounds about
NFL
right.
kind of muscled in. I think last year's the first year they started doing it with Netflix. I'm not sure if they did Christmas games prior to last year, but I know it was the first time on Netflix last.
Because I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, sure, there's folks, like the players, they're in professional sports, they're used to working around the holidays.
Yeah.
What about the poor dude running the Wetzel's Pretzels? You know?
Yeah.
You got to feel bad for the guy over by the at the slushy stand.
Well, that's the thing we all don't think about sometimes. The things we want to have,
Right.
what the cost it has, and they don't care.
Camera number 7 that almost never gets cut to.
All I hope is that those guys that work at Wetzel's Pretzels and all those places get at least double time or something.
Yeah,
They
you
get
definitely
paid
get
at least.
time and a half for sure.
Yeah, something like that. Now, I'd say it's Christmas, double time. They make a lot of money off them stupid pretzels. You can give them a few more shekels. Come on. Christmas Day, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Tell you what, Christmas Day, 20% off your pretzel. There you go. Never said we didn't give you nothing.
You know what that's going to mean? Is they're going to give them pretzels with 20% of it missing.
We took a big bite out of this one. There you go.
The guys are going, there you go. There you go. There you go. That was more visual. Sorry.
It's okay. I appreciate it. And the video crowd loved it. They're raving right now.
But, yeah. But anyway,
That's going to be an interesting thing. And you were talking earlier in this week about all the international games.
Yeah, there's like 7 of them. And the Vikings are playing like back-to-back ones. Like they're going to be in, I think, like Ireland or something one week and then in London the next or something like that.
I'm a Packers fan. Ask me if I care.
Yeah.
Oh, you little jet lag. But in all honesty, they said they're going to be playing Ireland and then UK.
Something like that, yeah.
That's like 20 minutes.
Yeah, but that's like 2 whole weeks in the middle of their season. They're going to be in Europe.
Sure.
That's going to totally mess up the routine.
So somebody high up in the Vikings office was like, hey, 2-week European vacation? Anybody?
Right, but these players and stuff got to do practice and stuff.
Sure.
And now there's like 17 more distractions. Like, what are you doing after practice? I don't know. We're going to go see Big Ben or whatever, that thing is. They just
now
it's just a different layer.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because they're going to be playing on a soccer pitch, essentially, a modified soccer pitch, right?
Well, yeah, it'll be a football field.
Well, their version of football is our soccer.
Right, but it's the same grass or turf. They just got to reline it.
Though, see, this is what I wonder, because I've heard people say that football stadium grass, like the soccer, is softer because of all the cleats, cleat work and stuff. That it tends to be more aerated and softer. I remember, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, they did a game in like Barcelona or something, and a bunch of players ended up getting injured because they weren't used to playing on that type of turf.
I remember that, but I think it was like the field was just not
maybe just I think it had just rained like a week before and it was
poorly
soft.
maintained or something. But
I worry about that because our players are our American football players. They get used to playing on a specific type of turf.
American football is way harder on grass than European football.
But not as much cleat wearing.
No, just as much. And then you got helmets and bodies and everything else. That's why you look at an average grass football field and some point in the middle of the season, it's just kind of brown in the middle between the hash marks.
Oh, yeah. No, I've
because they just tear the living snot out of it. Soccer's way more gentle on their grass than football.
Maybe. But maybe it's that they're all over the field. Because like you said, in between the hash marks for football fields, the other sides are.
Soccer's more spread out.
Yeah,
whereas
you're all
in
over the
football,
field.
I think it's a little huddle mass in the middle for the most part. They don't, you know what I mean? So it's it's just. Yeah, ask the feed it guy. He'll tell you.
Right?
Feed it. Get him to tell you.
There you go.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting. And Washington's going to play in Madrid. That's the first time Madrid's hosted an NFL game. So.
Yeah, that'll be
pretty
interesting.
cool. Yeah. All right. Dan Jennings is going to join us here in just a few minutes from 100% Chavez County.
to talk about the opioid summit coming up here later in the month. Before we do any of that, though, let's take a gander at your weather. If you like, you know what? Not as windy. We're in the breezy stage of our windies now.
Weather this hour is brought to you by Bob Reed Pest Control. Protect your home from pests that invade. Find them online at bobreedpestcontrol.com or call today 575-623-5344. Serving all of southeast New Mexico.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some clouds early today, but will clear up through the midday and afternoon hours. And we're headed for the upper 80s, maybe 90, and still a little bit windy with a few gusts around 30 miles an hour. Overnight, a few clouds drifting through, upper 50s and breezy, and then we'll hit about 90 for the afternoon high on Friday. Should be sunny, and then sunshine and warm through the upcoming weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 65 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 26%. Winds are out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy this morning, although most of my clouds have mostly burned off. But they say this is gradually clearing and going on sunny here today. High of 86 expected with north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour early. They'll shift to the southwest and pick up 15 to 20 later this afternoon. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 55 degrees. Southwest winds 15 to 20. Gusting as high as 30 miles per hour after midnight. Those winds will decrease 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Friday, sunny tomorrow and 88 for a high. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy tomorrow night with an overnight low of 58 degrees. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Then looking at the weekend, partly cloudy on Saturday with a high of 91. Southwest winds 5 to 10 in the morning, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Sunny and breezy on Sunday as well with a high of 89. And we'll start next week in the upper 80s as well. 87 and breezy Monday, 86 Tuesday, 89 on Wednesday. All right, 8:19. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then we'll talk with Dan Jennings from 100% Chaves County on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Have you spent a lot of time trying to whiten your teeth with no real success? Here at Carabelli Dental, we have a solution. Get that perfect smile you've always wanted with veneers. Veneer treatment is quick and minimally invasive and will provide you with a confident smile in just a couple easy steps. You deserve to love your smile, so don't let another day pass you by without calling us to start the smile design process.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 5,700 current Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU, student success, that's what we're about.
Spring has sprung, so it's time to move on into the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in Roswell. Now the Cow is an authorized handy quilter long-arm dealer. Spring fabrics are here and summer fabrics are arriving daily, plus quilts, shirts, and rope bowls made right here at the Calico Cow. Brother sewing machines with warranties are also on sale. Plus, the Calico Cow can fix and perform maintenance on all brands. Log on to RoswellQuilting.com. Spring into the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
It's a great time to buy a Kubota. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs. Get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th. Get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, or up to $3,000 off an L3302 compact Kubota tractor. Now through 6/30/2025. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information. Visit Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Did you know almost 75% of the time we're replacing a roof, something totally weird or unexpected or bizarre happens? Jennifer here again from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that we are always prepared for the unexpected. That's why we always have project superintendent on site at your home at all times to handle those weird, bizarre things as they pop up. Things like an unexpected layer of wood shake shingles under your shingles or rotted out decking boards, problems with flashing or ridges or missing supplies that somebody needs to chase down. These are the kinds of problems that normally grind the crews from other roofing companies to a halt and delay the project. But not with our super awesome superintendent there. He's equipped to handle any problem and keep the project moving along smoothly. Just one more way we do things better at Trustmark Roofing. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from 100% Chavez County, Dan Jennings back with us. Good morning, Dan.
I appreciate you having me, Mike.
Glad to see you again. It's been a minute since we've seen you, so but a lot's been going on since that minute we've seen you too.
Absolutely, always the next thing. So.
Yeah. So what we really want to put on people's radar right now is folks have heard, over the last few years, the big settlements in the courts with drug companies, doctors, so forth, overprescribing and the opioids and this kind of stuff. And because of it, they created a lawsuit, and it formed lots of money that's being used all across the country. And of course, we here in New Mexico got our little slice of that pie here. And so now we got to figure out, all right, we got this influx of cash.
Exactly.
What are we going to do with it? And that's kind of where we're at here with the summit that you got that's coming up here later this month.
Yeah, that's exactly right. New Mexico's part of that settlement gets us to almost about $1 billion. That's what the Attorney General and their team settled with it.
That's a pretty good little slice.
It's a huge slice. Yeah. And after court costs and everything, the way that it works is that the state gets about 45% of those funds and municipalities get 55%.
Okay.
So here in Roswell, Chavez County, they've agreed to pool that money together because Roswell was a large enough municipality to actually receive a portion of it. So we get 2.5% of that pool for municipalities.
Okay.
So to put in perspective, we have right now, funds came down from some of those settlements already and sitting at between $2.5 and $4 million that are dedicated, earmarked, not part of general op. They're segregated funds for that. But over the next several years, up until 2039 is when the last of the settlement funds come in.
Okay.
That can be about $8 million plus that will be dedicated here for Roswell Chavez County.
Excellent. So our end game here is we could be looking at influx of $8 million.
Exactly.
Now, is there any timetables or any strings that come with like obligations we have to do with the said $8 million, or is there stages we have to do things by? What's the strings?
So that's every state was a little bit different, and here in New Mexico they're kind of working on the process to make that happen. But really, what the settlement came down to, and so there's no specific timeline to say you must spend it by this time or reverse. This is money that is dedicated for this. And New Mexico, at the state legislature, they created a trust fund that a lot of that money goes into that gets invested specifically so that way they can continue growing those monies.
Gotcha.
And the same thing can happen here in the county, that those monies can be put into secure investment accounts so it can continue to grow over time as well. So that is number one. It's not time bound.
Gotcha.
But number two is, you're right, the string is that these funds have to be spent on very specific things that are outlined in the settlement plan for specifically targeting opioid use, misuse and treatment, prevention, and all the other co-occurring things, and mental health disorders, and anything that would go along with that.
Well, that's the one string I'd want on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we knew that before in the past, a lot of the settlement funds were spent on billboards that didn't even go to what we were trying to target.
So. And that's what would have made me nervous. It's like if they didn't put that stipulation on it, it will be taken advantage of, and it'll get skirted into this thing, and next thing you know, there's
we've seen that in other states, and the thing that is happening, there's a lot of watchdogs out there are looking to make sure that the funds are spent properly.
Excellent.
And so that's what the plan was developed for. So Chavez County decided to do a contract with us to create a plan. So over the last year, we've been working with creating surveys and focus groups and trying to find out from individuals in the county that these are targeted specific areas that we do not have.
Sure.
These are things that the fund could be used to pay for, and these are things that are very critical to get moving. And so through that process, we were able to identify out of 110 different strategies that are effective and useful inside of these funding, 13 that we really wanted to push forward that were specific for this area.
It seems like, hey, we can get the most juice off this squeeze by doing that.
Right.
And really, this is, again, coming up here later this month, May 28th, is the summit for the, it's a big opioid settlement solutions plan summit.
That's it. I know, it's a big mouthful.
I have to look at it to get it all out.
You got it. That was perfect.
But really, it's going to be a day of, you're going to have some interesting and probably people, local panel speakers that'll be discussing, sharing their stories, sharing their experiences, experts in the industry, in the field that can kind of, tell us about the places that are really the greatest needs and the greatest. And this is basically, like I said, we're going to, just to give a nice neat number to tell everybody right now, 8 million potentially and really this is we the people decide with it. It's kind of, okay, we all see, and the uniqueness of it is because I'm going to take a stab that in different counties in this state, different states, they're having similar type deals saying, how can we invest this money that'll get the most bang for our buck in our community? And that answer is not the same in every community.
Oh, that's exactly right.
We are in a rural community, which means our needs are probably a little bit greater in some areas versus an inner city place that maybe has these types of services down the street.
Right.
And that's where we got to figure that out. And that's what the summit's about.
That's exactly right. That's, again, the whole mission for 100% New Mexico is that everything needs to be a county by county plan. It can't be a top-down approach because one size will not fit all.
Absolutely.
And we have definite specific needs in Chavez County. But the awesome thing about it, too, is we have great resources. So the idea is that how do we align those resources that we currently have that could actually really make big impacts, but may not have the capacity to do so because of funding, of staffing. And so here is a pool of money that exists to help provide an infusion into this to really get things moving and going. But the summit is also a way, as you said, is to bring people that are doing these kinds of work. So it's a solution summit. It's not, well, we have these problems.
Sure.
This is literally like, here's the recommendations, but here are groups that are doing it right now.
Sure.
So Carlsbad Lifehouse is a great partner that's coming in to present several strategies. The Alamogordo Community Response Team's coming in to present how they're being able to do boots on the ground to help get people who necessarily low acuity problems that are not getting connected with law enforcement, but are instead getting connected up with community EMS, which we have here in Chavez County. We have Pecos Valley Public Services could do this. So these are strategies to say, we have the resources here. Here are people literally down the road who are doing that. How can we partner? How can we work together and get that same kind of strategy?
And not to mention, like you said, if we don't want to reinvent the wheel if the wheel's working really well in certain things. So if they're doing it right, let's
support and amplify that.
Let's support that, and let's what can we learn from them and implement right here, or like you said, maybe this service is covered. We don't need to. We don't need to throw more money at something that's already good. And so that's what this summit really is about, and seeing what that is. And this is the thing that, when we talk about drug overdose and drug use and these dependency issues on, and it's not even alcohol, any of these, things we're seeing here. I am one of those people that says, if you can get people off alcohol, get them off drugs and everything, but it's a mental health issue. The reason they're probably addicted to the drugs is there are things going on in their life that they're having mental issues overcoming. And to be honest, the alcohol, the drugs are a symptom of a bigger problem.
That's absolutely right, because you're right on target. I know that whenever we talk about some of these things, people already have a stereotypical kind of image in their mind of this person that is abusing, any kind of prescribed or non-prescribed drug. And these are individuals a lot of times who have been prescribed something legally, and then it just gets away from them, or This is something where somebody in the family might have been prescribed, yet somebody else in the family might be lifting those. I mean, this is situations in which the complexity is not such a simple stereotype where we can say, oh, it's that junkie mentality.
Yeah.
So the other thing too is we really want to start to break down that stigma where people are not thinking that. They're actually thinking this on, as you said, a level of which this is a societal issue, and we as a society want to make sure our families are very well secure and thriving, and this is a community in which we want to see that happen. And we do that together by making sure we're all well and healthy.
Absolutely.
And that starts at prevention, but also linkages to services when you need that. And then therapies, if that is necessary. But therapy is something that doesn't end.
Sure.
Therapy then moves into the linkages. So the idea is this is a never-ending cycle, which it shouldn't. Well-being and health is the same way as being able to go to your regular physician and just take care of your preventative maintenance.
Absolutely.
Same thing on the mental health side. So you're right.
Absolutely. And this is where, and I know we're talking philosophical here, but this is really what this is what the summit's about too, is to bring the philosophical to the practical.
Right.
And it's kind of where, where we I think we in humanity are just, when it comes to human health, we are pretty advanced in, healing bones and replacing legs and hips and various other parts of the body.
Yep.
We are in the Stone Ages when it comes to mental health.
Right.
And it's a lot of it's because of the way we've handled it in past human history. And to be honest, it's not nefarious. It's just we didn't know better.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? And so we've got to be careful, because you know what? There's probably some things, I don't know, I'm not talking about lobotomies, but I'm saying there's things that, that we did that back then that may have been a good start to something that we just botched on the way. And so I think we really need as societies look back and say, okay, we need mental health facilities, but we don't want asylums.
Right.
We need a place where there's people that are having trouble fitting in society because of their mental health issues, a place they can get treatment,
right?
Not storage,
right?
Not prison, not shoving them from society. A place where they can actually work on these things. Will they get out of there? That's the goal. But if they can't, they're in a place where they're safe and they're being treated and they're in a good environment.
You're exactly right. It's a continuum.
Yeah.
That we need to have points of access along the way where anybody could say, this is the help that I need, and not be worried about, like, am I going to, as you said, be committed?
Yeah.
Because that is the scare. The thing that we look at is there's very low touch ways for people to get access to treatment and care, and they exist right now, and they are free. I know we always talk about, like, there's just not enough care providers for everybody, and that is true. We need to help grow our workforce. We need to help triage with this.
Absolutely.
But we have tools that exist, but if people don't know about them or they don't know how to access them, then we're already at the problem that could be solved. And now we have, as you said, this continuum of care that would go all the way through the low touch, all the way to a more inpatient setting, and maybe long-term care, but done in such a way that results in productive results at the end.
Yeah, exactly. The idea is to fix them, to help them, to cure if possible, but at least make life better for them.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, we don't think, as you said, you don't think anything about that when it comes to physical health.
Yeah.
We understand that we have rehabilitation for physical health.
Sure.
And if you have a broken leg, you're not going to, I can take care of it myself. But this is what we do with our mental health.
Sure.
And we need to make it, again, lessen that stigma.
Sure.
Make it so that people feel comfortable and have points of access in which when somebody says, I need help, they're not told, well, hope you can come back in 6 months or whatever. It's like, no problem. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
That's the only answer. Let's take care of this.
We want to do more than hug on them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yes, we do that because we're compassionate, have empathy, want to help them. But when you want but don't have the tools, the resources, or the knowledge, then all you can do is offer a hug. And we're like, let's stop offering hugs and let's start offering
starting the
expertise.
solutions.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's where we got to get to. And it's and this is, and because it's such a, people have feelings on mental health and it across the gamut, good, bad, to downright ugly.
Right.
And that's the part where it makes it difficult for everybody to talk about this, which means this is where we as humans need to adult up and be serious about this stuff and and this summit is exactly the types of things we need to do. So we want to encourage the public to make plans to be there on the 28th. But if you want to be a part of this as a presenter or any facet,
we've got
you still got a few days to get in on the fun.
Yeah, the nice thing is that the tickets are free, and we had the tickets. We sell 100 of them. We had 100 reserved, and we blew through that number, so we moved it up to 150. So we still have a few free tickets available for anybody that wants to come.
But you got to get them pretty quick.
But you got to, because this, today's Thursday, so Thursday and Friday are the last 2 days to get in the registration.
Yeah.
So the nice thing is we have 15 different breakouts. We have Nick Bucas from the New Mexico Healthcare Authority, Behavioral Health. He'll be our keynote. Maria Vasquez is going to be our special lunch speaker.
Yeah.
So it is a full day.
Used to sell ads for us.
Absolutely.
It's
fantastic. She's agreed to come and reveal her. It's a wonderful story that she has, and we wanted people to really learn more about how this is and put real faces to this.
I don't want to get too deep in her story, but I'll tell you this. She's a success story that we're hoping everybody gets. But to be honest, she's because of the tools, the resources where we're at, she kind of... That just shows her will and character as much more than anything else. You know,
it's drive, determination.
Yes,
but you can come out on the other side, and she's a shining success of that. So we want everybody to hear the story.
Absolutely, but the end game is you don't have to work as hard as she did to get there. That's what we're trying to fix.
Right. That's the point. It's like hear the story, but how can we make this a point?
So please. Is the best resource to go to the 100% Chaves County website?
Right, 100chavescounty.com, and right there you'll see the Opioid Solution Summit link, and so you can just click on there and go through the registration process.
Absolutely.
And take the last few tickets we have. I think that the last I looked this morning, we had about 15 tickets remaining. So
I would love for people to be like, can I get in? Just let me in. I'll get over here real quick. Give me a little sample. But anyway, and then of course, if you're a Facebook user, 100% Chaves County has a Facebook page. I highly encourage you to like and follow it. But you'll also find that same link. You click on it, it'll take you right to the website. You can register, get your tickets. You can also see a whole thing of what, like the layout of the schedule, who's going to be doing what, when, and where, and all that, so you can kind of plot and plan accordingly. But get that done here before the 17th. So you got about a day or two here.
Yep, about 2 days.
Let's say 15th. They're all the same day to me now.
Today will be 3 days for you, it sounds like. So I understand.
Yes, I get that. And really, I would love to see, and I would love, families that maybe have gone through this, please come. Maybe there's folks that are dealing with some issues right now. Please come. Or
this is open for everybody.
If you're healthcare side of things, or nonprofit or religious, and wanting to see where where maybe your little slice of the pie can get more involved in helping out here, please come and sign up for this summit.
Exactly
come hear it. This is how we fix these things. And by the way, this is the start. This is not. We ain't having this meeting. All right, good luck to you. See you tomorrow.
Done. We solved the problem.
See you in 10. No, this is the beginning of a process. Kind of just like we were talking with the folks from the city about the master plan here. This week with all that this is the beginning of formulating what this is going to like. The same thing here. This is, like you said, over the course of when's the actual? You said earlier, but I forgot.
Yep.
When's the actual when the money is supposed to be at its full fruition of it coming to this account? When's that supposed to dry up?
So the nice thing about the way that the funds came is most of the settlements were kind of front loaded.
Yeah.
So most of those funds have been deposited.
Okay, so the heavy snips in now.
Right. However, the other settlements were put over a 15-year period of time. And so that's why money will continue to come in to get to that. By the end of the 2039 year, that's when all of the settlements should be completed.
It'll be Radunsky and money's gone where it goes. Unless...
That's why if you steward it correctly, you'll be
unless you maybe, invest in things,
That's exactly what we were going
you still got to, you still have a...
And leverage some of the state funds, because when the state has that much money, we can make sure we don't have to spend our local money. We can rely on the grants that the state has for that.
Spoiler alert, in case you didn't know this, when you spend all that money for your insurance, guess what your insurance companies are doing? They're investing that money too to make more of it. They're taking your money and making more money in the stock markets and everything else. That's what we can do with this. Right. And of course we'll have to, reach out to our people that actually know how to do those things, so we don't. Because you leave it to us, we'll be like, throw it all in Apple, Walmart, go, buy, sell. No, we don't want us doing
it. Yeah, these are not so exciting investments.
We want people who are more qualified to do it. I got me one of them Robin Hood accounts. Let's do this.
Yeah. These funds are in the most boring investment you can imagine. So
Yes,
money
these are-
market funds.
Yeah,
so.
these are like the stuff you're supposed to do for your retirement.
Exactly.
Type stuff.
That's exactly right. That don't lose the funds.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, and so and I got to say, if that's not on the table, or at least some point of that, then we're not doing it right, because if we, like you said, if we do it right, we can use this to get the big push to establish the foundation.
That's right.
At the same time, using this same money to grow and produce more to continue
beyond 2039.
Yeah,
That's exactly correct.
And as advances in mental health come to the forefront, and these facilities need to change and alter and to meet those needs, this money will be there to help do that.
We put in the idea of good evaluation as well, because it's not just, hey, have we spent the money, but it's like, what has been the result of that? Have we changed? Have we moved numbers? Have we helped? Because we want to get down to 0 overdose deaths in Chaves County.
Absolutely.
That is the goal. There's no reason that we can't accomplish that if we really make sure that the resources are dedicated to where they need to be.
And this is going to be a big thing, because it's a partnership and all hands on deck here, because obviously every person that deals with mental health, from law enforcement side to the hospitals to groups and organizations that deal specifically, they're all going to be on board and on page to be a part of the solution here. And so, like, I can see what comes of this is as we use this money, and I'm hoping a lot of this goes into the research side of the mental health, and to come up with the programs and the widgets and the whatever. If it's the thing from Star Trek you wave over and everything, whatever that is they invent, I want money going towards that too. But as those things come out, that's gonna I'm gonna take a stab. We're gonna learn some things, and how law enforcement deals with this is going to be night and day different, say 5-10 years from now than it is today or in the past. Certainly, this is also that lesson learned. This is the chance to try to get it right.
That's exactly
right. Try to get it right, and yes, we can all acknowledge this. Mistakes were made in various places here and there, and whatever. Don't care about that. What can we do now to rectify all of that? What can we do to get this right? What can we do to set the table to allow growth and allow it to mature at the same time servicing people right now? That's what we're trying to figure out.
That's what this is all about. So we've got a good plan to work forward with that, and of course that plan should be changing, as you said, as things come by. The state has been doing a great job of investing in programming that is now going to lead us into that kind of next wave. And a lot of these research facilities that you're talking about at the universities, most of these things are attached at that level. So if counties and regions want to work on some of those state funds, they have to also work with a higher education institution to ensure that things are evaluated, that research is being done there. So you're exactly right. That's the strategy.
This is starting a ripple that's going to create a tsunami wave throughout the whole industry of everything mental health related. And and we want it to be a good ripple, to create it in the right way, in the right direction.
I would love to see Chaves County, New Mexico be one of the places where people say, well, what is going on? They've got it going right. And that's, instead of hearing all the negative, we want this to be something where we can see.
The spotlight's on us. And
absolutely.
When it comes to rural mental health care, we're writing the book on it.
Exactly.
That's what we want to be. So please, May 28th, it's all day, 8 to 5 there. It's going to be at Eastern New Mexico University in the Instructional Tech Center. Just follow all the cars at EDM if you're not which building. You'll see which one it is. Yeah, and there'll be signs to guide you there. But please go to 100% Chaves County's website or Facebook page to register. It doesn't cost you a thing, but you do need to pre-register. Deadline to pre-register is May 17th, which is here in a couple days. And then free up your dance card for May 28th from 8 to 5 and come out and hear some great guest speakers, get some great input, offer your own experience as well. This is as much as it's a forum, it's a seminar, it's a bit brainstorming too, and we the people, this is your chance to be involved, to see, and I'm telling you right now, if we don't do this and we don't do it correctly, if you're mad about the world right now, it's going to get tenfold worse if we don't address these issues.
Exactly. Thank you.
So thank you, Dan. Anything, and then of course we'll get you in here maybe right after, right around there, just to see what kind of turnouts, what kind of results, great. What kind of what are some of the light bulbs that come out of this summit here.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Would love that.
That's what we need. Light bulbs. We need lots of light bulbs. We get to excel and work up a marketing deal here. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate
it, Mike. Thank you.
All right, it is 8:47. Let's pause for news, sports, and your Red Apple Sports, or Red Apple, it's kind of like sports, financial update, and a quick commercial break. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Salado Isolation Mining Contractors reports it's taken 1,000 shipments of nuclear waste since it took over the WIP facility near Carlsbad 2 years ago. Salado took over for Nuclear Waste Partnership, which had the contract for the 10 previous years. Simcoe was signed to the $3 billion contract in November of 2022. The agreement included 4 base years of WIP operations, followed by 6 optional 1-year extensions. There is a new leader at Sandia National Labs. Laura McGill is the new director. On Wednesday, McGill outlined her vision for the future of one of the country's top labs and one of the community's top employers. McGill really wants to lean into that designation as one of the most important labs in the country. She says her goal is not just to build on the reputation of the labs, but to ensure that the country is able to handle the most critical issues that it faces. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Baseball playoffs today in Albuquerque. All of these games will be at the Riordan Sports Complex. It's Goddard, the 12th seed in Class 4A, taking on number 13 Chaparral. That starts at 12:30. Goddard swept Los Alamos over this past weekend. NMMI, the top seed after getting a bye past the first round in 3A, will take on number 9 Sandia Prep. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. That Goddard game is at 12:30, by the way. And Gateway Christian, the 2nd seed in Class 1A, also had a bye for the first round. They'll take on number 3 Logan in a semifinal. That starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And Dexter in softball, the top seed, they'll be taking on number 2 Cobre. That's at 11 a.m. at Los Altos in Albuquerque. Dexter yesterday defeated Robertson 11-4. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some clouds early today, but will clear up through the midday and afternoon hours. And we're headed for the upper 80s, maybe 90, and still a little bit windy with a few gusts around 30 miles an hour. Overnight, a few clouds drifting through, upper 50s and breezy, and then we'll hit about 90 for the afternoon high on Friday. Should be sunny and then sunshine and warm through the upcoming weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Stocks will open today about where they were yesterday. Stock averages were little changed after a couple good days on tariffs from China being lowered for 90 days. The Nasdaq was up about 0.75%. Technology stocks generally rose. They're continuing to lead the market with companies such as Apple and Microsoft benefiting from strong quarterly earnings reports and optimism around AI-driven growth. Troubled Boeing hit a 52-week high. Boeing and GE Aerospace have a $96 billion deal with Qatar Airways to sell them as many as 210 planes. Investors are waiting for today's retail sales data and more insight into consumer spending trends. A House committee advanced trillions of dollars in tax breaks as part of President Trump's economic package, but the battle over removing limits on deductions of state and local taxes has not been resolved. The latest unemployment claims numbers have stayed steady and not risen. The S&P 500 index, which is at the center of many 401k funds, has erased all of its losses since President Trump escalated the global trade war in early April. The S&P 500 is now back to within 4% of its all-time high. With business, I'm Joe Connolly.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. This National Foster Care Month, Marine Toys for Tots is providing hope to children who need it most. Staff Sergeant James Caldwell, who grew up in foster care himself, shares that while handing out gifts at a Toys for Tots distribution event, a little girl looked up at him, reached into her bag, pulled out a stuffed animal and said, "Someone needs to make sure you get a toy too." That simple gesture embodies the heart of Marine Toys for Tots, ensuring every child, including those in foster care, experiences the kindness that can transform their future. Visit toysfortots.org today.
Huzzah! The Lincoln Forest Renaissance Fair returns to Wingfield Park in Ruidoso, May 16th through 18th.
Join Oso Productions for 3 days of adventure, featuring armored combat tournaments, over 100 food and craft vendors, children's activities, and live entertainment, including the Young Dubliners on Saturday night. Sponsored by the Village of Ruidoso and Lincoln County Lodgers Tax, Fusion Medical Spa, Jack's Backstage, and Ruidoso Parks and Recreation. Tickets and details at LincolnForestRenFair.com.
Hi everyone, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. When was the last time you looked forward to sleep? Let's be honest here, you know a restful night's sleep has more health benefits than you consciously think about during the day. Here at Glenn's, we carry Serta mattresses, and they've been in the business for more than 90 years. Choosing one can be hard, but I want you to know we have your back. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell, where delivery is free since 1953.
Visit Bush Appliance to get high-grade performance straight from the commercial Maytag washer assembly line. The Maytag commercial-grade residential washer features a robust build that brings rugged durability to your home laundry room. Shop now at Bush Appliance and bring home the power of Maytag. Bush Appliance Woodworks and Installation. When it comes to cabinets, appliances, and installation, who you gonna call? Bush Appliance in Roswell. Stop by 111 West Country Club Road in Roswell or call 575-622-6390.
Roswell Nissan presents live coverage of the NMAA State Tournament from Albuquerque. Tune in to Roswell's Talk FM 106.5 or KSVPTV.com for Goddard Rockets softball Thursday morning at 11 a.m. as they take on St. Pius, followed by Goddard Rocket baseball at 12:30 as they take on Chaparral. Then tune in for afternoon baseball at 4 p.m. as Gateway Christian takes on Logan, and NMMI at 7 p.m. against Sandia Prep. Catch all the action on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM or online at KSVPTV.com. Brought to you by Roswell Nissan, a proud supporter of Roswell Sports.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
Didn't work. Now I'm addicted to beef and bacon. Good morning. It is 54 minutes after 8 o'clock. We got a few minutes here before top of the hour news. Stay tuned next hour. We're going to replay our interview we had yesterday with Meredith Hildreth. She's with the city, the planning and zoning department there. Also had consultant Jason King join us, and they're doing their master plan kickoff this week, where they're trying to get the public's input and getting information out on the formulation of Roswell's master plan. And tonight at the Roswell Public Library, beginning at 5:30 p.m., Jason's going to be there doing his presentation about, he's written books. He's an expert. Matter of fact, he'll be in the interview next hour talking about his meeting tonight. And then tomorrow they're going to have at the library, same time, 5:30, they'll have a kind of a recap of the week's results that they've got from some of the input from the community here. But they're going to do all-day sessions again here today. And then for folks to get their input in, and of course the deal tonight at the library at 5:30. But we'll talk all about that in the interview next hour with Jason and Meredith there. So that's next hour. I've said it a bunch of times. Don't forget playoffs, baseball, softball all day today. Goddard softball at 11. Goddard baseball 12:30. Joining in progress right after the conclusion of softball with Goddard. We'll have Gateway Christian baseball for you at 4 p.m., and we will have NMMI playoff baseball for you at 7 p.m., all right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Audio only for all those events as well, KSVPTV.com.
All I can think is, the movie Hot Rod?
Yes, I just watched it the other day.
I love that movie. It's
Saturday.
Stands up as one of my favorite movies of all time, and I've watched it at least 30 times. But the whole back half of the movie is he finally got a sponsor for his big jump, and that sponsor was the local AM radio station.
The owner of that station, / morning show host,
which is oh gosh darn it, his name just escaped my head. But anyways,
I see his face in a bunch of stuff. I don't know.
Chris Parnell.
Okay.
But the whole time he's talking about, he's extolling the wonders of radio and how it's amazing, and the where he shows his tattoo, and it's an AM radio peeing on a TV.
Yeah.
But literally, and this is my favorite part of that whole series of events, you cut to the initial jump. He comes off the ramp. The very first thing that the radio guy says is, "I wish I had the words to express to you what this is like," immediately undercuts himself.
Right.
It's one of my favorite things about that
the
whole
sweet,
movie.
Sweet irony.
There's so many things that I think were mistakes in that movie that have become my favorite. Like the whole scene with the riot.
Yes.
At in the middle of the movie, which, by the way, the song they use in that clip is my opening song when I'm filling in for you. The You're the Voice. I rarely use it. But the whole riot thing happens. People are breaking in, looting stores and stuff. And then you cut to the boys like all kind of meeting up afterwards, and they're kind of going over how crazy that was. And then just for some reason, Danny McBride's character is holding a TV. Like he wasn't holding it before,
right.
but now he's holding a TV. And that makes me laugh out loud every time, teeth out laugh.
Well, I forgot how many famous people are in that movie. I watched it literally, I think it was Saturday or something. It was literally, I think it was over the weekend at some point. It was on. I was like, oh, Hot Rod. Ain't nothing on. Why not? And it's been a minute. And I just forgot, there's just so many people that are now pretty famous.
Oh, absolutely. It's
a lot
big.
of SNL.
It's a lot of SNL.
Yeah.
Isla Fisher's in it.
Yeah.
Which that's a big get. That's I think that only happened because Jorma and Andy and the guys in Lonely Island are friends with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Gotcha.
And I think they're still married. I'm not sure, but they were together at the time.
Of course, she's in Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other movies. That's the only one that comes to my head right at this moment, but there's a bunch of others.
She's been in a few.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's quite loaded up with star power in that movie for sure.
Yeah, but it's god awful movie, but really funny. And that's, I mean, if you're looking for
awful in the best
right, if
way.
you're looking for Oscar buzz movie, you ain't finding that. It's Adam Sandberg. I mean, come on now.
It's
pretty good.
Just when he randomly goes to the woods to punch dance out his rage after suffering a long and painfully long fall.
Actually, every time I see that, I feel like they're spoofing the movie American Anthem. That was the one with Wayne Gretzky's wife where they go in the woods and do their gymnasts.
Yeah, but no, they're literally doing Footloose. It's Kevin Bacon and Footloose.
Oh, see, but
because he does the whole thing. He lights and smokes the cigarette and then he tosses it off.
Well, watch American Anthem and the scene where they do the working out in the woods, and it's right there with that.
I had to go find that. But his, instead of doing the double bars like they do in Footloose, he did the pommel horse.
Nice. All right, it's 9 o'clock just to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We will be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. President Trump delivered a pep talk to American troops at a base in Qatar.
As president, my priority is to end conflicts, not start them, but I will never hesitate to wield American power if it's necessary to defend the United States of America or our partners.
As he travels through the Middle East, the president said he was pleased with 2 major Boeing aircraft orders. A day after a Saudi company ordered at least 20 jets, Qatar placed the biggest order for 787s and wide-body jets in Boeing's history.
I think it's the largest order ever for aircraft, so I salute the people from Boeing, Kelly, and everybody, and General Electric. The engines are General Electric Super Prime, and I really think it's great.
Meanwhile, in other parts of the Mideast, violence flared in the West Bank. Israeli airstrikes killed more than 50 people in southern Gaza. An American-backed humanitarian group expects to begin aid operations in Gaza before the end of the month.
The group, which calls itself the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, says that it got what it describes as key agreements from Israeli officials on delivery. The announcement identified several U.S. military veterans, former humanitarian coordinators, and security contractors who say that they will lead the delivery effort. Many in the aid community believe it's meant to supplant the distribution system, now run by the UN and other international aid agencies. Israel has blocked food, fuel, medicine, and all other supplies from entering Gaza for weeks.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
696-2020 and mention the word healthy. Visit them at myphdweightloss.com. That is myphdweightloss.com. It works, everybody. Check it out at myphdweightloss.com.
For decades, Harvard University assumed it had a cheap copy of the Magna Carta in its collection. But the BBC's Joe Black says a critical examination shows the document is an original.
The Magna Carta, issued in 1215, was the first document to put into writing the principle that the king and his government were not above the law. It's considered a key step in the evolution of human rights. This version was bought by Harvard for $27 in 1946. Professor David Carpenter from King's College London teamed up with Professor Nicholas Vincent from the University of East Anglia to investigate its authenticity. Both academics are certain it's a lost version of the last Magna Carta from 1300.
There are 4 copies of the original, and until now there were believed to be only 6 copies of the 1300 version. News and analysis at townhall.com. The fight over abortion continues in Missouri. We get details now from correspondent Keith Peters.
Missouri lawmakers have approved a referendum seeking to repeal an abortion rights amendment passed by voters 6 months ago. The Republican-led Senate voted Wednesday to place a new amendment on the statewide ballot that would instead impose a ban on most abortions, with exceptions for rape and incest. The vote came after the GOP majority used a rare procedural move to cut off debate by Democrats who opposed the measure. Keith Peters, Washington.
Dick's Sporting Goods is buying the struggling footwear chain Foot Locker for about $2.5 billion. It's the second buyout of a major footwear company this year as business leaders deal with tariffs and the ongoing trade war. Dick said it expects to run Foot Locker as a standalone unit and keep the Foot Locker brands. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number
3. Tracy Viernos.
Yeah, so I was trying to...
All good. Everybody knows we can't do 2 things at the same time.
Yeah, I tried that. Sorry about that. Good morning. Welcome to hour 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters. The
last time I tried to do 2 things at the same time, I folded the eggs and successfully scrambled the laundry.
You know, right before I came on, it made me laugh, so I'm going to share anyway.
Mhm.
You know how those baby on board the things they put
the
on?
signs.
Yeah. I saw one online. Not many people have been able to get this, but It was a picture of an ice hockey goalie,
Mhm.
and it said "financial burden on board," which is about right.
Well, it is one of the more expensive sports to get into for sure.
Well,
Plus, coupled with the medical bills, the lost teeth.
and particularly ice hockey goaltenders.
Oh, because they have all the padding.
Well, I'm telling you right now, and this is for like, I'm not talking NHL level player of those pads. The average schmoes level player of those ice hockey pads,
right?
You're dropping $1,000 easy.
Really?
Just on those pads.
Just on pads.
Just on the leg pads.
Just on what?
Just on the leg pads. That helmet you're wearing is going to be another $300-$400. That chest pad's going to run you about $200. The pants are going to run you about the same. You're dropping about $2,000 to $2,500 for a garden variety goalie setup.
Okay, now hear me out. What about slightly softer pucks? No? No?
Actually,
I mean, we have softball. What about soft puck?
Nah.
Soft puck hockey.
Then
It's fun to say.
Then it gets wet and it doesn't.
No, I'm not saying like soggy, but like, does the rubber have to be vulcanized?
They don't play Nerf hockey. Yes, it does. And add insult to injury, they freeze the puck.
They freeze them, yeah.
To eliminate bounce.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, now here's a question, because they freeze them. It's a cold environment. Has there ever been a situation where a puck broke?
No.
No?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, maybe, but I've never seen it or heard of it.
All right,
but
Google.
It's never been in an NHL game and on camera, to my knowledge.
I heard a reference that said.
But I'm going to say one day, yes, someone broke a puck somewhere at some place at some time. Something.
I heard somebody say every day at the X headquarters, they elect a new pope with the amount of smoke they put in the air from AI. All just from our AI questions. But
I'm wondering if you do that search and they're going to show you somebody beating up that dude Puck from the real world in the 1990s or whatever that
not
was.
Puck, a Puck. Okay, AI. Yes, hockey pucks can and do break in half, though it's not a common occurrence. There have been instances in both professional and house league events where a puck has split upon impact, such as hitting a crossbar or being hit by a powerful shot.
Okay.
So Reddit users have discussed instances of pucks breaking, including one where a puck split in half during a game and part of it ended up in the net. While rare, pucks are more likely to chip and break than they used to, especially with the added stress of modern play.
Yeah. So. I'm sure it's happened. I've just never seen it or
But that
heard of
raises a question. If you slap shot a puck and it breaks in half and half of it goes into the goal, do you get half a point? Or
I'm
do
going
you
to say
get
no.
a full point?
I'm going to say no.
Because the intended shot was still there.
Yeah, but the goaltender did not have a honest chance to stop both pucks. So therefore
That's
you
true.
cannot count it as a goal.
For some reason, I feel like half a puck hurtling at my head is more dangerous than a full puck hurtling at my head.
Not to mention, I don't think the scoreboards are set up to do 0.5 of
Somebody get me a Sharpie and a piece of construction paper. I'm taping this up.
Caps are up 2.5 to 1.
Yeah, well, modern scores aren't meant to show ties either, but they have the extra dash.
By the way, I'm going to miss the Caps game tonight, and it's probably going to be their last game.
Can
I think
you?
They're done.
Now here's okay.
I think they're going to be done. They've played doo-doo the last two games, and quite frankly, I don't know if I want to watch more.
So
another
you're
game.
not going out of your way to watch. That's fair.
But what I'm hoping is, this is like I'm not watching. They're going to rally and they're going to smoke them tonight, which means I'm going to watch them. I think Saturday, and they'll get smoked.
So with your technology, could you bring that stick here and use it?
Well, I could get technically on my iPad. Problem is, I can't watch it and do the rest of this at the same time.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I get you. You get invested. I understand.
Yeah, I can't not do that and not do this. So it would be just. And people are like, well, just watch it. No, I've learned the lesson. This is one of my cardinal rules. I do not record live sports to watch later. I've been burned and messed with and screwed more often than not, and that's just a hard rule for me. I do not watch. I do not record live sports to watch later.
In the past, it was something that was achievable. You could go blind into a recorded sporting event.
Now
but
it's impossible.
Now it's next to impossible. I mean, you could still avoid looking
I'd
at
literally
social.
have to throw my phone out the window because I get updates and
Yeah, that's true. Notifications.
And
stuff.
by the way, I need my phone because I got to communicate with Henry and or Kelly or Henry and Kelly, and so I can't do that.
That's true.
So yes, it's just.
Yeah, that is a tough one. There's been whole plots of episodes of sitcoms based around one guy recording a basketball game and not wanting to know the final score, and then somebody, the foil of that episode, finds a way to show him the final score regardless.
Yeah, that happens to me every time. Like even the years back, Redskins, this was back when they were the Redskins. I'd be like, I'd have to do a remote or something, and so I'd record the game I was going on. Guess what happens? My dad would never say anything about games to me at all until the ones I missed. Then all of a sudden, how about them Redskins? I think he knows. He knew.
I made that exact same mistake about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Normally, my wrestling friends group and I, we get together on certain nights and watch shows. Well, this particular night, we were watching Raw, but I was home. I couldn't make it to the group watch. But what I didn't know was they started it 20 minutes late to avoid commercials or to skip commercials.
Ah.
Yeah, they didn't tell me that. So I immediately was like, no, one. Yay. Wasn't that awesome? And then everybody's like, shut up. I'm like, oh, did I do the thing?
You're the guy.
I did. It was like for the first year after Sixth Sense came out. You're like, wasn't it crazy? He was dead the whole time?
Right.
Dude, what the hell?
I
haven't watched that yet.
My wife, I think she still does, but she's learned to like back when years ago and we still watch it every summer, but we used to get really into Big Brother, and we had like Big Brother, like my families, like some of my wife's family, some of my side of the family literally had like a Big Brother, like
get together,
like pool,
right?
Like we all picked our horse and threw in $5, and the one who got closest got the pot kind of thing. Yeah, we did. We were getting to that, but.
You bought Big Brother squares.
Basically, yeah. It was some family weird gambling racket going on.
Not for nothing, but it's not like your family doesn't already have a spotty history with gambling.
Right.
Maybe we don't necessarily have to work gambling.
Not so much on Kim's side, but my side. Right. Yeah, we got a few. I got the shady horse jockey. My brother, the shady bookie. I've got all that. But anyway, so we used to do all that, but my wife would follow Big Brother on Facebook, and they spoilered their own show all the time on that thing. Because we're on, like, they literally, like, as soon as the East Coast feed would end, oh, so-and-so got kicked off, and you're like, dude, they hadn't even started here yet. Don't tell me you got kicked off when I haven't even watched the show yet. Come on, think about it, people.
Right.
And so
that's the problem, though, with also being in the know about something is you can find spoilers where there aren't necessarily.
Yeah.
Case in point. So, pro wrestling right now, WWE, John Cena holds the title. Okay, he's got at least 2 defenses in the next couple of PLEs, but they announced a European tour, and it was centered around John Cena. So clearly, dude's still going to be holding gold when they do their European tour 3 months from now.
Yep.
They sort of spoiled themselves.
We got to get the hour going, but you said John Cena. Peacemaker season 2 comes out in August. I saw have you seen the trailer?
No, not yet.
I watched it the other day. I think it's gonna be good. There was at least 1 or 2 laugh out loud moments in the 2-minute trailer.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
So I'm excited. So apparently he's got like a new team or something, and they're doing and their superpowers are less than stellar.
So a real mystery men group of ragtags.
It is. It's kind of a more advanced mystery man. It really seems that way.
We don't have time. I know we got to get the interview started before the hour started, but did you see the trailer they put out for the Pee Wee Herman documentary?
I saw of it. I didn't see it. So there's who's doing it? I saw something, but I thought it was something old. I didn't know what it was.
It's Pee Wee. It's a documentary about like the life essentially of Pee Wee Herman, but he's the one telling the story.
So they filmed it before he died?
He knew he was not long for this world, so he started this project as kind of something to leave behind to tell his story.
You know what this reminds me of? That movie that starred Michael Keaton and I think Nicole Kidman, and it was called My Life. And I feel like Michael Keaton's character had stage like terminal cancer, and his wife was pregnant. And so he's basically creating this VHS tape,
right?
Giving the how to navigate life. His kid how to navigate life.
1993, that came out.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
My Life. Yep.
That's a good recall for me.
That's really, yeah. You do pull some obscure ones, man. I'm not going to lie. I feel like you got like a free preview Cinemax 2 weekend. And
I watched a lot of movies. Put it this way, I was a teenage boy and had Cinemax, and thank God.
Right.
Showtime, HBO. Put it this way, the movie channel. Now, there wasn't 37 of these channels at the time, but I had what was considered the top tier package of its time at that time. And so, yes, I saw a lot of movies like My Life and Silverado.
I couldn't pull Kate Upton's name out of thin air 2 hours ago, but you pulled My Life out of your butt crack just now. That's amazing.
All right, we're going to play our interview we had yesterday with Meredith Hildreth from the city here, Planning and Zoning, and also Jason King, who is a consultant here for the master plan, talking about their meeting here tonight and all that. So we're going to play that here for you in just a bit. But first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some clouds early today, but will clear up through the midday and afternoon hours. And we're headed for the upper 80s, maybe 90, and still a little bit windy with a few gusts around 30 miles an hour. Overnight, a few clouds drifting through, upper 50s and breezy, and then we'll hit about 90 for the afternoon high on Friday. Should be sunny, and then sunshine and warm through the upcoming weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, let me scroll up a bit. 65 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 26%. Winds are out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour. We are expecting sunny skies for today. 86 for a high. Winds will be out of the north. It says 5 to 10, although they look like they're picking up already. But those winds will be picking up 15 to 20 later today. Tonight, clear skies. Overnight low of 55 degrees. Southwest winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Wind should drop down 10 to 15 after midnight tonight. Sunny for you Friday. 88 for a high expected. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, clear, mostly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 58 degrees. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. For your weekend on Saturday, partly cloudy and 91 for a high. Southwest winds early 5 to 10. Winds will increase 15 to 20 later Saturday afternoon. Sunday, we're looking at sunny skies and breezy with a high of 89. And then looks like we'll start in the upper 80s and breezy, 87 on Monday and breezy, 86 on Tuesday, and 89 on Wednesday. All right, 19 minutes after 9 o'clock, we're going to take a break here, commercial break. And then I was going to say quick. It's not quick. It's about a 4-minute break. And then we're going to play our interview with Meredith Hildreth from the city of Roswell and Jason King, consultant. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
You received a social media message or text from an unknown number. They started a conversation with you, and over time, they earn your trust. Then, they encourage you to invest online or buy cryptocurrency. And when you do, they disappear, along with your money. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
The summer of fun is on at Roswell Honda. Now through the end of the month, get scorching savings across the lot on a great selection of vehicles, like a new 2026 Honda Passport as low as 3.99% for 36 months, or a 25 Honda Civic Sedan Hybrid, just 4.99% for 48 months, or lease a 2025 Honda Ridgeline all-wheel drive, just $409 a month for 36 months. Roswell Honda has the deals to take your summer adventure to a whole new level. The summer of fun begins at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 5,700 current Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU, student success, that's what we're about.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender, loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Hey, Mark.
Morning, Sam.
Having the house remodeled?
Nah, I got termites, and they're chewing the place up.
Welcome to the neighborhood. I've got them too.
Really?
Yeah, just had a termite treatment put in.
You did? I didn't see a lot of digging around your house.
That's because I went with the Centricon termite colony elimination system. It's a lot easier to install than what you're doing. They just place bait stations around the house, and then the termites share the bait with each other until the colony is gone. No digging, no chemical solution, just simple protection that's environmentally responsible.
Wow.
Yeah, I even got a green chemistry award from the EPA.
Centricon, huh? I'll be right back.
Hey, where you going?
Tell these guys to stop digging. I'm getting Centricon.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
It's a great time to buy a Kubota. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs. Get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th. Get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, or up to $3,000 off an L3302 compact Kubota tractor. Now through 6/30/2025. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information. Visit Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Check out some of the Markdown Madness specials you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. 30-count variety packs of Capri Sun are $7.98 each, and boxes of Kraft Original Mac and Cheese are 5 for $5. In produce, Farm Fresh Super Select cucumbers are 3 for $1, and 5-count bags of Haas avocados are $2.99 each. In the meat department, family packs of boneless beef top sirloin steaks are $6.99 a pound, and family packs of bone-in sirloin cut pork chops are $1.49 a pound. These are just some of the Markdown Madness bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us. Good morning. It is 25 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the city of Roswell, Meredith Hildreth back with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Thank you for having us on.
Always a pleasure to have you on. And then
Thank
Jason King, who's also with the consulting firm that is working with the city of Roswell here to get this whole master plan not only to concept but to fruition here. So good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us, Mike.
So it's a busy week. For folks that missed our discussion Monday, this kind of kicked off the week of really trying to get the input from the community of Roswell on these kind of next phases as we're putting together the master plan here. And obviously, the city and a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on what's needed, what directions we need to go and things like that. But again, it's all the people in the building. It's the city. We really want that feedback from the public. And
we definitely do want feedback from the public. So we have lots of opportunities for that.
Yeah. And so this week's kind of a kickoff for like a full court press for that right now. And
yes.
If you hopefully some of you got to be a part of the meeting at the library on Monday this week and kind of get some more information. But if you missed that, you really have 2 more opportunities today and tomorrow to get your input here. And so, Jason, this is where I guess tell folks about what kind of information we're looking for here. What's it's not stuff like fix my pothole. This is big picture kind of stuff here.
Sure, that's right. Yeah, the comprehensive plan is that. It's comprehensive. It's about every aspect of city life. It's about buildings and public spaces and streets.
Right.
And so we all have experience of buildings, public spaces, and streets, and so everybody's got something to contribute.
Sure.
I'm an out-of-town consultant, which means I rely on the information that we get from people.
Sure.
And we take their ideas and we turn them into the formal plan.
Sure. Well, and can we look at it this way as like, look, you guys can look at statistics and do all that. Like, you can form, okay, we need to widen roads here because of the traffic. And I mean, that kind of stuff, you guys, the kind of stuff you're looking for is the creamy middle. What gives Roswell its character, its soul, I guess you could say. And so, yeah, I mean, look, we can do, but so some of this is like, how does that incorporate into the infrastructure? Where, you know, I mean, that's kind of what the things we're looking for, right? Is that type of stuff.
That's right. Another big part of it is just people's values, what they want to see. So I work around the country, I work around the world, and each place has a different vision for itself. What do we focus on?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what do we start on first? I can't tell you that. I need to be told. And then, as a technical expert, I help supply the ideas that make that vision a reality.
Gotcha. So kind of give folks a big picture process of how, like, we go from conceptual to down the road here and say, here she is, the master plan.
Yeah, so it involves public input, of course. The community needs to come out and tell us what you'd like to see in Roswell. Not just what you would like, but what you would love. And don't worry about the how or the how much.
Right.
But what would you love? Would you love another playground?
Like a dream sheet almost.
Here.
Yeah.
Because the Parks and Recreation, our sub-meeting is today.
Mm-hmm.
And Economic Development sub-meeting is today. And one other sub-meeting today.
Parks and Recreation, we talked about. And Economic Development, yep. And then we're also going to be working on transportation issues especially.
Excellent. Okay. So, but like you said, it's your chance to kind of like, yeah, if if you've been living in this neighborhood, they should put a park over there or whatever. You know, this is the kind of stuff.
Or we'd like more street trees, or we would like this area to be cleaned up.
Yeah, or sidewalks or something.
Or we would like a
outside.
neighborhood plan for this neighborhood.
Gotcha.
So those
really
kind of
taking the broad that you guys have and getting surgical with it in the neighborhood to neighborhood.
What would people specifically like?
Yeah.
Now, one aspect to this, a lot of times you ask people what they want and they don't know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And so they ask us, what should we be asking for? So part of our job is also educational.
Gotcha.
So I'm the author of 2 books, The Climate Planner and The Equity Planner.
Okay.
And so my job on this project is what's called resilience, environmental and economic resilience.
Gotcha.
Tonight at 5:30 at the library, I'll be giving a lecture. I'll be talking about my work around the country in those 2 topics.
Excellent. So, of course, there's going to be open hours if you want to talk and meet with folks during the day here. But you might want to maybe after you get off work or something, come by and hear Jason kind of get more details and give you a bigger picture of what the end game here.
And that's from 5:30 to 7 tonight at the public library.
Okay. Now, is this kind of a come and go, or if you it'd be best behoove you to be there at 5:30 to catch the whole thing, or?
Yeah, at 5:30, we start to informal conversations. There's exercises around the room to get people's input.
Okay.
Let's say 6 o'clock, the show starts.
Okay.
And, at 6 o'clock, it'll be a presentation, and we'll be talking about, so on a lot of people's minds, of course, is the flood, right? So we've got a team of engineers working on solutions. So the next 100-year flood, which could come at any time nowadays, will do less damage and cost less and be less traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one big part of what we'll be talking about tonight.
Preparing for the worst and hoping
And they
for
have
the
some
best.
design.
Yeah, that's right.
They have some design concepts already that they've come up with.
Yeah. Well, and this is the weirdness that is this area. You know, we live in the middle of the desert, and the last people thinking about floods. But we have the dam. There are people that were here in town running the show long before we're here and had some good ideas about the dams and to be honest, they probably learned from the last time we had the 100-year flood. Go to the Historical Society. I bet you could find. I bet if you look in different. Here's the 100-year flood from the 20s. Here's the 100-year flood. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so we're having less of those. But this is how, they formulate that kind of stuff. Now back then it was probably a little lower tech than today's way we do this kind of stuff. But really that's what this is. We're learning from lessons and how do we improve upon those lessons. And like you said, the flooding one's a big one this particular time, but it's even more than that too.
An interesting thing that is occurring through these meetings and people coming in to engage with the consultants to give their input in our open studio is that people are talking about the same things, but they don't know that each other exists or have what ideas each other have.
Sure.
So So this process is also connecting dots and
Sure.
connecting resources and people.
Consolidating, so we don't have 12 people doing the same 12 things, and we can get 12 people doing in 12 different.
Or able to figure out how to work with each other.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. And this is the beauty of this too. Is sure. There's some people are going to be very, let's see, adamant about what they want to see, and then others are going to be a little more passive in things. And this is the time. It's the group discussion. It's the chance to say, hey, this is, and to be honest, be a little passionate. These are the things that are important to you. It's the speak now or forever hold your peace kind of moment here. It's like, if you really want to see impact and you want to see these growth in this direction or opportunities in this direction, this is kind of your pulpit to get your opinion to the people that actually have the abilities to do the things you're asking for.
Right.
And that's what really, in a nutshell, this is what this week's about.
If we don't know what the public wants,
Sure.
then we can't plan for it.
Absolutely.
So this is a very collaborative process.
Absolutely. So tonight, on tomorrow, is it tonight? I'm sorry.
Tonight.
Tonight at 5:30, come and do, if you want to hear Jason talk more, and I think it sounds like everyone should hear, but if you really want to, it'll be 5:30 night. So during that time, too, you can get your process and things and talk about it here. Also, but they're going to have the open studio here from 9 to 7. So if you're not available tonight because of work or church or whatever you got going on, then you can at least come by anytime between 9 and 7. Open, fill out, talk, express, whatever, get your opinions to folks too if your schedule's a little narrow.
And that's in the Community Development Department
Yes.
at 500 North Main Street,
Yeah.
Suite 100. We're in the SunWest Center, the city's Community Development Department, where the old Bank of America used to be.
Yeah, and that'll be today and tomorrow.
Yes.
Those hours here.
Yes, all day.
And then tomorrow there's going to be another library session from 5:30 to 7. Are you hosting on that one too as well, Jason?
I'm part of that, yeah.
Okay.
So tomorrow night is what's called our work in progress presentation,
Okay.
where we're going to say this is what we heard through the week.
Okay.
And this is and how, we're going to talk about how we translate that into the goals and the policies and the
Gotcha.
actions of the plan. Essentially, it's an unveiling of the work that we've been doing.
Gotcha. So that's kind of so you're gathering data all here up through tomorrow, or today actually, and then here Thursday we kind of say, ta-da, this is kind of what we're seeing. This is the direction we're going. This is kind of the input we're getting from the community.
That's right.
Kind of thing. Okay.
So, for instance, one part of resilience is economic resilience. We
Okay.
talked to the downtown advocates. We talked to the business owners in the downtown. They gave us their ideas, and we'll be talking about how that translates into public policy and also physical solutions.
Sure.
How do streets change? How do buildings change? How do public spaces change?
Gotcha. I don't want you to spill the beans all now but kind of like, here we're, day 3 of this kind of, what's just leniencies? What's been some of the early results here that you're looking at?
Well, I was talking about how the last time I was in Roswell was 20 years ago, and you remember, and Roswell has done a lot since then.
It looks a little bit different.
That's right.
Over the
That's
last
right.
20 years, yes.
The main street is all filled out. Where there is a vacant building, there's a plan for something to happen. And
Sure.
and that wasn't the case 20 years ago.
Sure.
There's a lot more alien art, which is also very cool. But Roswell's reached a certain point. Over the 50,000 people, a city is in a transformative spot. We're talking about how it can't just be one main street anymore. How
Gotcha.
the downtown needs to be more than just one street. It needs to be a series of blocks with a walkable mixed-use fabric, multi-story mixed-use buildings. So we're talking about how we unlock the development potential and turn downtown, restore it in a lot of ways, if you look at the old pictures. And so that's one thing. We'll be talking about the downtown of the future.
Cool. Which this is something we all love, and we, but part of it too is it's an old area, like you said, the buildings and things, and so yeah, it's kind of like you said, we're gonna have to, and then you tack on, it's just a unique crossroads in Roswell's history right now. With yes, we're growing. But now we're about to take on a second, let's face it, international level event in a town of 50,000. This is bananas. I mean, you don't hear of this in most places. I mean,
so this comprehensive master plan is timely.
This is exactly because this is what's got to, our Sleepy Little Hollow that's internationally known is about to get a bigger party dress, and it's really, we got to get ready, and and this is your input. What do you want to see? What do you want to? we want the growth to happen without the clustering to happen, without the problems that come with growth. I mean, we're going to all have that. There's always that. But how do we manage that? How do we mitigate some of that? How do we plan ahead so, no one gets bottlenecked going from one end of town to the other because we're 3 times the size we used to be? How do we avoid that from happening? And that's kind of where we're at right now. Those are the kind of things we're talking about here. So
that's right. So there's a lot of energy and investment coming.
Absolutely.
And so you got to channel that into something positive. One thing Roswell has that everyone wants in the country has a small town feel, right? There's not very much traffic. You have everything you need, but there's not a glut of stuff. People know each other. So you're about to enter the world stage with these air races, right?
Sure.
You're already there when it comes to the aliens. My son is a big fan of everything Roswell. He's 12 years old. I bought him a whole bunch of stuff at the museum. So you're already there in a way. But
so we thank you. We have we brought a lot of dollars to those little green men bobbleheads and things.
That's right. But let's say if you're getting 100,000 tourists a year coming to learn about the mysteries of Roswell and alien experiences, it's going to double. The number of tourists is going to double. So what does that mean?
Sure. How do we handle it?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
right.
gonna. And now we're gonna. And to be honest, we're getting 2 really different audiences now, which is gonna. I mean, this is so I don't think folks to this day, I don't know if we realize you see the International Balloon Fiesta up in Albuquerque every year.
Yeah.
We're talking that level, maybe even bigger. With the Reno Air Races or the National Champion. I got to stop saying that. National Championship Air Races. I got to retrain my brain on that.
That's right.
But and so this is why your input's needed. Come listen to Jason tonight, beginning at 5:30. Let's hear and see, because we all know this is coming. I know a lot of people are kind of, because I've already heard it walking around town. We're not going to be ready for it, and you know what? We probably are going to learn a lot of lessons here in the fall. But that's the growing pains of it.
And as we grow, how can we do that sustainably?
Yeah, and get better each year, and this is all part of it.
And enhance the community, not only the physical aspects of the community, but the economic aspects of the community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we kind of go, I do, because when if we throw in the air race stuff and thing, one of the things is that everyone's saying is access to amenities, restaurants, hotels, things like that. This is part of that, incorporating the space. Where do we put these things and how they're going? And that's, this is all part of that too, right? Right, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely. So urban planning is about investments in infrastructure, education, and quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
So the quality of life, how do you make sure that you're building an economy that's not just for the tourists,
sure,
but also works for the people who have been here for a long time, who have been here through difficult times and tough times.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a time of new prosperity, how do we make sure that that the people who are living here enjoy that, and that Roswell continues to be the place people want it to be?
Well, you make a good point there, where that, as people that from southeast New Mexico know, and being in an oil and gas community, there are many towns, particularly south of us, that are very boom or bust times. When the oil's good, those places are hopping, but when it's bad, it's bad. Roswell, because we are a little diverse in what makes this city go, we don't get as impacted by those. And that's kind of where we want to continue that. We don't want it to turn it, well, great, this place is hopping in September and July, but it's a ghost town the other 10 months of the year. We don't want that. So how do we make it an even keel, where when we do have the upticks in July and September, they're not big drop-offs there, and it's more even keel. So that's all part of the mix here, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So what you're talking about now is sort of diversifying the economy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a town that only offers one thing or is dependent on one thing.
Sure.
So that it's a kind of maturation. So as Meredith was saying, you're physically going to change, but how socially and economically do you want to change as well, and become more resilient?
Sure. It's the blessing and the curse that is of growing. The more eyeballs, it's just conceptual. The more eyeballs, the more people know about your thing, the more everything gets more complicated. But also, if you do it right, things get better. You get, and so that's how we do it. We're going to get big, folks, whether we plan or not.
The secret's out.
Yeah. Whether we do it right or wrong is kind of right now how we determine that. And so that's why this week's so important here. So put your input in. If you can't make the meetings tonight or tomorrow, then please at least come by City Hall there. The community, what is it again?
Community Development. We're in the SunWest Center.
In the SunWest Center. Perfect.
500 North Main Street, Suite 100.
When you're going to Pepper's to have lunch today or tomorrow,
come on by
and visit and get your input in at least. But if you've got the time this evening and tomorrow evening, come on out to the Roswell Public Library, begin about 5:30 or so. And you can submit your input tonight before, but then you can also maybe right after you hear Jason talk. That way might help you make a better decision on some of your input by hearing Jason first. Maybe.
I like that idea. And if people find that they don't have the time for that, remember, you can follow our project. It takes a while to create a comprehensive plan. There's going to be a lot of other opportunities to talk about this. You go to the website, propelroswell.com.
Yeah, they've got a great resource there. They even got a little high-techy, their little cool flip book. You can kind of read about the master plan and all the. So if you want everything from soup to nuts on the Roswell master plan, the propelroswell.com is your best resource to do your reading and researching and all that kind of stuff. And it's pretty easy to navigate. They got tabs. Like I said, they've even got a little flip book there that kind of makes it fun to read while you're doing it.
Yeah, that's right. Interactive. Yeah.
Include your children, and we would like the young voices in our community, our young adults, our teens, our tweens, and our children to engage in this process, because this is your community and we want your voices heard.
Ideally, they're going to be the ones on city council and working for the city and working for these private entities that are going to be making the said master plan go here a little bit. That's part of it's. And by the way, that it's their future that we're it's all of our futures, but ideally at some point we're going to be on our porches yelling at kids to get off our lawn. Well, these folks are the ones running the show here. So get your input, talk with them about it. Especially, obviously age appropriate, your 2-year-olds and 3-year probably don't care, but 14, 15, 13, that
8-year-olds have great ideas too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? You ain't wrong there. Sometimes but that is a true thing. Talk to your kids. Hey, what would you like to see in the neighborhood? And yeah, you're going to get a couple more like the ice cream man more often kind of things. But you might be. Wouldn't it be cool if you had this park here, this swimming pool here, whatever it is we're talking about? So that's what this week's about, folks.
This is the time to dream big.
Absolutely.
And to think big. So because Roswell is a beautiful, beautiful community,
Absolutely.
And we have a lot to be proud of. We have a lot of talent here.
A lot of potential. There's so much opportunity here. We just got to harness it correctly and make sure we get the most out of these opportunities here. So, before we wrap up here, I do want to ask. So after this week, what's next on the timeline here? How as far as what's on the docket? What's the next thing we need to do? And what kind of timetable are we looking at before we say here it is?
Sure. So through the summer, we're working on the plan. In the fall, we bring back a draft, and then we start our adoption meetings.
Okay.
Formal public meetings, your 3 minutes at the microphone, starting in winter.
Okay.
Much. Yeah.
So there'll be more public opportunities. We're just now kind of doing, like you said, the kickoff week here. But so I guess maybe maybe here's the blessing. You don't have to have all your answers right now. But what we do say is let's start wrangling those in. Let's start formulating those ideas and things like that.
And if you have an idea, bring it. This is your opportunity, so please take the time to come and see us.
Some of the most innovative things of time literally happened because somebody walked in a room and said a thing. And it begat that. Again, if you have any questions about anything we're talking about here, your best resource is propelroswell.com, just like Propel the fitness water or whatever, that spell it that way, Roswell.com. It's like propeller, but without the water's named after the word propel, by the way. Never mind. Young folks. But please go there. Like I said, there's all kinds of resources, information, everything you need to know about that. And of course, make a point if you've got time. Join us at the Roswell Public Library tonight, beginning at 5:30, and then come back tomorrow night at 5:30. Hear Jason King tonight give kind of his expertise, the rundown, the good. Well, this is what we're doing. This is how it works. This is everything. Kind of give you a good clear picture of what we're trying to do here and what we're envisioning from this. And then come out tomorrow to kind of hear the feedback, hear kind of what the results, hear what your fellow residents and community members are thinking right now. And then now we go to the next level. See, all right, let's whittle it down some more. Let's filter it out. Let's start taking the magical to the practical here. That's really kind of what we're doing, right? Is like, making it that way. So, is there any information, anything that Jason or Meredith, that you guys wanted to get out there that I just kind of skipped over, spaced over?
I would just say that it's not all the time that a city opens up the book and changes the rules or comes up with a new vision. So this is something that only happens once every 5 or 10 years.
Gotcha.
So make use of this experience, I think.
Absolutely. And see, put it this way: I know it's fun to complain on social media. But it's not solving problems. It's not. At the end of the day, you're just making yourself and your neighbors mad. This is how you fix it. Come to the library. Come to the SunWest building here and get your input if you can't make it to the meeting. But this is your time, all you Facebook warriors. This is your time to put it in action. Be a little more adult about it than you did in Facebook, but short of that. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I'm sure you have a long day, so we'll let you get to it here.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it. And as more phases of this happen, we love to get you guys in as we get updates and more kind of a final end game as we progress through this process here.
Okay, let's propel Roswell.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Mining Contractors reports it's taken 1,000 shipments of nuclear waste since it took over the WIPP facility near Carlsbad 2 years ago. Salado took over for Nuclear Waste Partnership, which had the contract for the 10 previous years. Simcoe was signed to the $3 billion contract in November of 2022. The agreement included 4 base years of WIPP operations, followed by 6 optional one-year extensions. There is a new leader at Sandia National Labs. Laura McGill is the new director. On Wednesday, McGill outlined her vision for the future of one of the country's top labs and one of the community's top employers. McGill really wants to lean into that designation as one of the most important labs in the country. She says her goal is not just to build on the reputation of the labs, but to ensure that the country is able to handle the most critical issues that it faces. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
DHS says arrests on the table for any Democrat who stormed the New Jersey ICE facility. ICE arrested over 400 Biden illegals in Houston. Of those arrested, 262 had criminal convictions. I mean, what is wrong with Joe Comp? They have blood on their hands. But this big thing in Newark is a big deal. And the best part that I read is any state, any municipality, any city that is aiding and abetting in helping illegals is going to be arrested. And by the way, Kristi Noem said that subpoenas for California for possible cash benefits to illegals is going out. Guess what? That would be stealing your money.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Now, don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless that comes with a lot of fine print, plus. Oh, in other words, you pay more. At the end of the day, you paid for that, quote, free phone 3 times over. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my cell phone provider, a veteran-owned company, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a much better offer. A free phone with a qualifying plan for just $35 a month, and you get a brand new Samsung Galaxy A26. Just make the switch to Pure Talk for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot and roaming, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword save now, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, pound 250, keyword save now. Get your free Samsung Galaxy with a qualifying plan when you switch to Pure Talk. Wireless by Americans for Americans.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Baseball playoffs today in Albuquerque. All of these games will be at the Riordan Sports Complex. It's Goddard, the 12th seed in Class 4A, taking on the number 13 Chaparral. That starts at 12:30. Goddard swept Los Alamos over this past weekend. NMMI, the top seed after getting a bye past the first round in 3A, will take on number 9 Sandia Prep. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. That Goddard game is at 12:30, by the way. And Gateway Christian, the 2nd seed in Class 1A, also had a bye for the first round. They'll take on number 3 Logan in a semifinal. That starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And Dexter in softball, the top seed, they'll be taking on number 2 Cobre. That's at 11 a.m. at Los Altos in Albuquerque. Dexter yesterday defeated Robertson 11-4. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some clouds early today, but will clear up through the midday and afternoon hours. And we're headed for the upper 80s, maybe 90, and still a little bit windy with a few gusts around 30 miles an hour. Overnight, a few clouds drifting through, upper 50s and breezy, and then we'll hit about 90 for the afternoon high on Friday. Should be sunny, and then sunshine and warm through the upcoming weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston. Price increases are coming to Walmart. Even though it posted solid first quarter sales, the nation's largest retailer says it will raise prices later this month due to higher tariffs. The U.S. and China agreed to pause reciprocal tariffs for the next 90 days, but import taxes remain at high levels. Dick's Sporting Goods is buying the struggling footwear chain Foot Locker for about $2.5 billion. Dick said it expects to run Foot Locker as a standalone unit and keep the Foot Locker brands. More than 1,000 Starbucks baristas at 75 U.S. stores have been on strike this week, protesting the coffee giant's new dress code. Starbucks is setting new limits on what baristas can wear under their green aprons. Starting Monday, employees were required to wear a solid black shirt and khaki, black, or blue denim bottoms. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston.
When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more.
Spring has sprung, so it's time to move on into the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in Roswell. Now the Cow is an authorized handy quilter long-arm dealer. Spring fabrics are here and summer fabrics are arriving daily, plus quilts, shirts, and rope bowls made right here at the Calico Cow. Brother sewing machines with warranties are also on sale. Plus, the Calico Cow can fix and perform maintenance on all brands. Log on to RoswellQuilting.com. Spring into the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Do you want to improve the appearance of your smile or increase your self-esteem and confidence? Many people have already chosen to update their smile with veneers. Here at Carabelli Dental in Roswell, we work with our patients to understand their smile goals. With veneer treatment, we can eliminate gaps between teeth, solve the problems of stained teeth, and even perfect uneven or misshaped teeth. You owe it to yourself to have the smile you know is possible. Call us now.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455. Are rates and inflation getting you down? Roswell Nissan thinks 0 is a much better number, as in 0.0% on brand new 2025 Nissan Pathfinders and low rates on brand new Armadas, Rogues, and Altimas. Roswell Nissan is the home of the largest used car supercenter in the state. A massive selection of trucks and SUVs, including a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. And now through May 31st, get no payments for 90 days and payments as low as $199 a month. Think low, think 0 at Roswell Nissan. 21 2111 West 2nd.
Are you ready to succeed? The School of Arts and Sciences at ENMU Roswell covers a broad curriculum. The certificates and degrees offered within these programs will prepare students to realize personal, professional, and occupational objectives, from ag science and agricultural technology to behavioral science, biology, bookkeeping and accounting, business administration, criminal justice, education, and mathematics. ENMU Roswell can set you up for success. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here. The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber to home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trust.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:57. Hey, before we wrap up the show, do want to tell you, this Saturday, Keep Roswell Beautiful is having their big Great American Cleanup event. It's going to be at the Roswell Municipal Landfill, 3006 West Brasher Road. Registration begins at 8 a.m., and the cleanup will be from 9 a.m. to noon, and they're inviting volunteers to bring their groups down and sign up for the event, and that way they'll hand you your gloves, vests, trash grabbers, all the stuff you need, bags to do cleanups in your neighborhoods or the various sections you got. Also, any youth groups out there listening up, you need to get on the stick here pretty quick, but if you have a youth group of 10 or more, you can sign your youth group up and receive $400 cash, or a check probably, but to your group through the Empowering Youth fundraising program. If you want to take advantage of that, you need to get a hold of TJ Conyers at Keep Roswell Beautiful. You can reach them at 575-637-6274. Again, that's 575-637-6274. Or you can shoot an email to tconyers, t.conyers at roswell.nm.gov. Again, that's t.conyers at roswell-nm.gov. But there's only limited spots available on that, so you might want to get sign up quick. And again, it's this Saturday. Registration begins at 8. The cleanup is from 9 to noon. Get your volunteer groups by, or if you sign up your youth groups, bring them by. Then you can pick up your gloves, vests, and all that stuff. And I imagine if you're looking for a few places, they could probably point some directions. If you're like, hey, I want to help, but I don't know where to go, point me. They're going out there at 8 o'clock. They'll probably, if that, or they'll say, hey, join this group. They'll go clean there. But love to have you volunteer there. So that's this Saturday. Also, don't forget, we have high school playoff baseball and softball for you here beginning at 11. Goddard softball playoff action. Then we'll join in progress. The Goddard baseball team will start at 12:30. We'll join that game as soon as the softball game ends. We'll have Gateway Christian baseball at 4 o'clock today. NMMI Colt baseball action at 7 o'clock today. All here on KND. Also, audio only, no video, audio only, ksvptv.com. All right, that's going to do it for us for today. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have a great day. Enjoy the wind, not so much the weather, not so much the wind. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning with an all-new show. Till then, you're listening to 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. Have an amazing day, everybody.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. On his Middle East trip, President Trump says the United States getting very close to securing a nuclear deal with